terrible things in my life and turn it into something funny.
Laughs, love, and life lessons. This is Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
I like it. I like it. Life lessons, laugh and love. That's what the show should be about.
It is.
Positivity, not negativity.
That's not slam poetry. That's just a thing you said.
That's just what I say. I speak in slam poetry vernacular.
Oh, that's so charming.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Charming what? Charms that are lucky charms. Would you be annoyed if I did the entire show as a slam poet?
Yeah, especially because I'm starting to get the sensation that early morning is not your best time for slam poetry.
You're probably right, it's not. But then again, neither is late in the evening.
You don't think so?
I'm a midday slam poetry guy.
Oh, I see. You're good at like for a good late afternoon slam poem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
While people are having lunch, I'll just go in there and slam some poetry at them. They love it. They appreciate it.
Yeah. Nobody likes anything more than getting poetry slammed at them during lunch.
Today's my last day for a while. I mean, and then you guys are doing one show tomorrow, and then we're on break all day. I'm leaving for Europe today.
That's right.
And I'm all packed up.
How are you getting their boat?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I fly through Germany.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because for some reason their travel agent fucked up and didn't book the direct flight.
So you gotta... How long is the flight to Germany?
Yeah, I figured the whole thing, the entire thing with the layover is 10 hours. Which is not as... I mean, after Australia, anything you do after Australia is like, all right, well, it's not 23 hours.
10 hours is doable, especially if part of it's a layover, right?
2 hours is a layover.
Oh, okay, so it's only 8 hours on a plane?
About
or
that,
two
yeah.
planes combined?
Yeah, about 8.
It's just such a pain in the ass, because
if one flight, the fucking first flight's late, then you're delayed in your second one.
And psychologically, you feel like when the plane's landed, like, all right, I don't have to do that again for a little while. I hate plane landings. I get nauseous so often.
I don't mind the landing as much because that's when you're getting closer.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's. I take Dramamine. You don't take pills?
No.
Take a Dramamine. It will help you with the nauseous.
You know what I take sometimes? Every time I sit down on a plane, I look for the sick bag.
You know what? Do you do the quick? I do this. I rifle through it. I feel it, and I know it's there.
Yeah.
I've never had to use it to knock wood. If I ever have to, I'm sure I would.
I've had to use it before.
Where? What were you doing?
Landing on a plane, just landing.
Oh,
it's
landing?
Always the landings.
It's as you're descending.
Mm-hmm. Now, always in the landings. And I've had like the last one or the time before it or something. It was such a close call. I was sitting there literally like, the worst is when you're like, okay, this is not good. But if we land soon, I'm going to be okay. And then you look out the window thinking that you're going to see the buildings getting really close. You're about to land and you realize that you're still way up in the sky. Like you got another 15 minutes of this and you're not going to make it.
Is it the turbulence?
I guess so. Turbulence going down. I don't know. I really don't have a problem flying. I don't have a problem taking off. It's always just the landings.
Yeah, I knew a writer named JR, who I remember going to LA with him. I think he was on the Patrice trip, and I remember him white knuckling on the way down. And I'm like, I'm so happy to be landing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be getting off the plane, but I go through spats where it's like I can't talk to anybody, I can't look at anybody. I just have to concentrate on not getting sick.
Yeah, what you got to do is start taking Dramamine. They have Dramamine that is non-drowsy, which I take, or drowsy kind. And it really does help. I get sick easy. And I've known I forgot to take it like a minute into takeoff. I'm like, oh, fuck.
And that probably makes it worse because then your mind starts playing tricks on you.
No, then I'll just take it.
Yeah.
I always have it. But you have to wait like a half hour you have to wait a half hour for it to take effect. Now, let me ask this question. What show are you talking about, Ken? Ken?
Ken, say what?
Hey, it's Kent with a T on it.
Oh, hi, Kent.
Kent, say what?
What's up? What?
Hey.
No, I was just, I got into the show with, Opie and Anthony and two of y'all, And I listen to both shows just driving around, and, lately it seems like all these motherfuckers are calling in and saying, Opie, you're the greatest. They don't know what's going on with the morning show. They just don't have it together. But I'm sure they were all over y'all's nuts, when y'all were together.
Well, in all honesty, I'm guessing that we always have a choice which calls we put through. And I can rest assured, I imagine that there are certain calls that are being brushed over.
You think so? There's like a highlighted line like, hey, we got a good one.
Let me tell you something about Inside Radio. Never allow the phone calls that any radio show puts through to make themselves look a certain way be your indicator as a listener as to what all the feelings on the radio show are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. These people are two-faced. You know, they would have like been all over your ass, like get an autograph or whatever. If they saw you 6 months ago or whatever, and now they're also, like, they. You
also, when you figure out the tricks, you're like, oh, if I say this,
I get on the air.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But hey, good for them. Let them enjoy.
Yeah.
Some people love the compliments.
Hey, look, we all like compliments, but I've seen people say that we were wrong about things or they didn't like certain things we put them through. I mean, I don't need. Look, man, we have a job to do. We want you to like it. We want it to be fucking funny. We hope you enjoy it or think it's interesting. But I don't need to constantly retweet compliments or put compliments through. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate you saying that. He said he's tired of people shitting on the show.
I love you all. So.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Yeah, I appreciate the sentiment. I don't hear it. I don't go around being like, oh my God. The response that I get for the show from people who listen to the morning show enjoy it. That's why they listen, I think. So it doesn't terribly concern me.
No, I appreciate the people who like it. I appreciate you liking it. If you don't like it, don't listen to it.
Right.
It's life.
Did you hear, there's a celebrity apology that's out there.
There's a celebrity across from you.
Where? Behind me?
No, across.
Oh, is he going to Europe?
Not that famous.
Is he going to Europe today?
Mm-hmm. Take Dramamine before we move on. Take Dramamine. I'm telling you, it will change.
It works?
It works amazing. My whole life. The only way I can travel is with Dramamine.
Yeah.
The only way I can travel. You'll take it. I don't know what it does, but it helps you not puke because I'm a terribly motion sick boy.
Is that why you can't go on roller coasters?
Yes.
Aw.
And I'm scared.
You get
scared and sick.
I get so scared on roller coasters, I get sick to my stomach.
I told you when my ex and I went on that one roller coaster thing, I got so sick after 10 seconds. Remember I told you I had to stop it early and she was so embarrassed?
Oh yeah, it was one of those...
A simulator.
Yeah, the simulators that they have in malls and stuff, in arcades, where you go in and you sit down and the thing comes over you, so you're in like a capsule. And there's just screens everywhere, and it moves. And I've been on that like 100 times. It's really not a big deal. But Jim had to push the panic button 10 seconds in as an adult.
And the guy thought I did it with my elbow.
He thought it was a mistake.
Yeah, he's like, he thought it was like an error.
Hey, did you actually make sure you just watch that button? Oh no, I saw it. Oh, I saw it. Please let me out.
I'm having so much fun, by the way, now that my daughter is taller. She can go on almost every roller coaster.
Does she love them?
Yes. And I love the fact that my 7-year-old daughter can do way more than you.
She can.
Oh yeah, she goes on.
Can she drive?
Well, no.
Yeah, let's see you tell jokes to an audience. Guy who gets too defensive. Yeah, like, all right, let's see you pay a mortgage.
2 points for Jim.
Hey man, this guy has something similar to Sam. Yes, Dez in Nantucket.
Yeah, that's me.
Des Nuts.
Yo.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, real pleasure to be on the phone with Jim Norton and Adam Walsh. Sam Roberts.
Whoa. I told you not to take these calls anymore.
Yeah.
I dubbed that.
Okay,
yeah,
good,
only call in if you like the show.
Good. Yeah.
What's up, Des?
So a puking story on the plane, like a 5-hour ride back to the States from Europe. My whole family had been sick for 2 or 3 days beforehand. I'm laughing at them all as I get on the plane because I hadn't had it. But 10 minutes in, I puked the whole way. 5 hours. So those little paper bags don't work for shit.
Well, not when you're going for the whole 5 hours. I mean, they're good to catch you if you're just losing it during landing, and it's a quick one, and you're getting off the plane. But no, if you need something that's going to satisfy you for the entire ride,
they're not meant to carry vomit like Santa with his toys.
Oh no! Every now and then, someone's going to have consistency problems. So I'm dealing with this watery vomit. Ladies got to furnish me with some plastic bags to puke in. It was great.
Oh my God, 5 hours of vomiting. That's terrible.
Yeah.
And the motion of the plane makes it worse.
Yeah.
Head down the toilet on an aircraft. You're seeing everybody's shit who went in there just before you. Nasty.
Have I ever done that? I might have puked once on a plane, and I think I've only shit on 2 or 3 planes. That's why I'm so paranoid before I fly. Like, I don't eat certain things. I'm crazy. I'm very careful.
I just fill up.
I think it took years off my life. Never getting it back.
See, when I go on planes, I like to fill my stomach up so it's just like sunk in there. I eat fast food and drink soda, and just so it's just like a rock. You know what I mean? Like that full feeling where you're like, ugh. And then I'm usually good. Whoa. Did you turn your shit off?
Yeah, sorry. Des, your phone dropped out. I don't know what this is. Do you know what National EMS Week is?
Yeah, I heard about it on Elvis Duran this morning. It's National EMS Week, and we got reminded this morning every hour to take a deep breath. Yeah, it's EMS Week.
All right, cool. Yes, Brian in New Jersey. You wanted me to remind everybody, and we are.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, buddy. Take care.
But, yeah, that's usually my strategy. It's just to
fill up.
Fill up.
Not with if you're gonna fill up with like saltines or something that's really neutral in your stomach. You know what? I can't fill up with fucking greasy food.
I fill up with McChickens and soda and fries and all that stuff, just so it just sinks in my stomach. It feels good.
I can't do it. That's why you're getting sick, though, probably.
No, I get sick.
Bad food.
I get sick when I'm not I get sick on morning flights when I didn't eat before I get on the plane.
Oh yeah.
And there's not enough there, and I'm not good with plane food. So no, if I bring McDonald's on the plane, if food can sink in there and just sit there, I'm usually pretty good.
When do you start to get? Is it the change in altitude?
Yeah, it's not until we're descending for sure. Like we're going down, and then and it starts to get more turbulent and blah blah blah, and that's when it gets bad.
Yeah,
that's when it always gets.
That's
bad.
where you need a nice pill.
One time the guy about the plane reminded me that like a couple years ago I was taking the train into work, and I was sitting next to a guy, and I had to throw up, and I knew like I wasn't feeling that great leaving the house, but I brought a plastic bag, so I put a plastic bag. No, I didn't even have it in my backpack because I didn't think it was going to happen. And then I'm on the train and I realize, oh my god, I think this is going to happen. And so I start looking through my bag because I don't want to make a scene. I don't want to have to go into another car and find the train bathroom or whatever.
You want to puke in your seat?
Well, yes. So I start looking in my backpack.
Ugh.
And I found
a ghoul.
I found a half a Subway sandwich from the day before. So brilliant. Primetime Sam Roberts. I take it out. I take out the sandwich. Now what do I have? A nice plastic Subway bag.
You're about to put something better than was already in there.
Yeah, probably. And I realize it's going to happen. So the guy's right next to me, and I just pretend like I'm...
Oh, and those are clear bags.
Yeah, I know.
And they're thin.
They're very
You're right,
thin.
Troy. They are very thin.
Like condoms.
I start looking out the window, pretending I'm looking out the window. And then I just kind of lean over as if he didn't know exactly what was happening and just went, "Brr," right next to him. And then, but guess what I found out? Not only is it, so it's clear. So I put it like I tucked it like next to me, like between the window and the seat. But Troy's right about it being thin. Because I looked down and saw some like leakage going to the floor. And I was like, oh no, there's no way.
How much did you throw up?
It wasn't like a ton, but it was
Did
like.
the guy know?
He definitely.
How could he not know?
Because I'm sitting here puking.
There's a Muppet kneeling over.
Sam's playing it off like he was slick.
Yeah, like I'm just smooth about it. Except then I was very, very quiet. Like I was impressed by myself. I'm like,
you can't
okay.
be quiet throwing up though.
I was very, very quiet.
You're quiet, shameful vomiting.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I was very, very quiet about it. Like a kid who gets beat for being sick, you know? Like, oh no, I can't let my parents find out. But the fact of the matter is, he's sitting right next to me. Like, you're gonna notice.
Smell it.
Especially when it starts leaking.
Did you say anything to him?
No, fuck no.
Did he say anything to you?
No. He didn't have the balls to say it. So I just kind of
stay there for the rest of the train ride?
Yeah, pretending nothing was happening.
I would have gotten up.
I realized when there was some leaking going on, I just put I very stealthily and quietly put the bag on the floor as if he didn't know exactly everything that was happening. But I put it on the floor and like pushed it into a corner where like the vent is, and just pushed it there so it was like edged up against it, and then just pretended like.
So wait, how do you do all this while you're sick? When you vomit, you're just done?
Yeah, I just had to throw up. And then I threw up and I was done.
See, I'm like, I drink one coffee because I have to fly. I won't have my second coffee. I can't have a lot of coffee. I never drink coffee right before I get on a plane because it upsets my stomach during flying. Well, there's these bands, too. I've never tried one of these. Maybe you can try this next time you fly. JJ in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, hey guys, I love the show.
Thank you.
That's right.
That's why you got through.
Yep.
Absolutely. So yeah, they you wear them on your wrist. They're not the best fashion statement in the world. You look like an '80s tennis player, but they have these little pressure point things that go into the inside of your wrist,
Right.
and they apparently work fantastic. My wife, she gets car sick when she drives. And we go on planes, cruises, and they absolutely work for her. They're great.
I've heard of them, and in the Navy even, they put something behind your head, behind your ear. But I don't see how these bands work. I think these bands are just psychological. Dramamine actually does something physical to you. What do these do?
I think it's psychological. I think it's psychosomatic, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, pressure points and the pins and needles that they stick into other people's where that works too, I guess. So
Yeah, they say that acupuncture works. It doesn't make any sense to me, but everybody who does it is like, they swear by it.
Acupuncture, they've done tests where they show like the body, like the heat and blood going to where it's supposed to be going. Like, I've seen tests done or shows on acupuncture where they show that it actually does do something. Like, they'll simulate you in your hand, and they can see the blood going more to the heart or wherever it's supposed to be going. So they've actually done tests where they've shown that it does what it says it's doing in a lot of cases. Oh, this is crazy. Why would you do this?
Loco?
Yes. Dutch?
Hey, good morning, boys.
Hello?
Good morning, Dutch.
As a fellow Comfort Plus traveler like Sam Roberts,
That's right. I do.
The finer thing.
I do tend to travel Comfort Plus. It's not something I like to brag about, but
You're an Economy Plus guy.
Yeah, I mean, based on my position in life, I don't think it's unusual that you would see a guy like me.
True. By your position, you mean vomiting. You're hunched over.
Yeah, bent over in Economy Plus.
And I appreciate the finer thing to add to you. So I made the brilliant decision of having sushi in the airport before my flight.
Oh boy.
Because we all know that airport quality sushi is always going to be the best.
You're so crazy, dude, to eat that. I would never even consider that.
You wouldn't? That wouldn't be an option?
Never. No,
I spent the entire flight, thank God I was in one of the pods in mid-class, curled up in a cold sweat between New York and Vegas, vomiting and trying to frantically push open the door between the two pods, crawl over the person next to me to vomit.
Wait, you had to crawl over the person next to you. Why?
Window seat?
Well, because, the pods, they're two side by side, and there's like a little door that goes up between the two of them.
Right.
And, it's not like, it's one of those things where there's not that chance of like, I might have to vomit, let me take my time. All of a sudden it was, I gotta vomit, you gotta get out of the aisle, move.
What airline has that kind of seat where you have to hop over somebody after lifting a pod wall?
It's a spaceship.
JetBlue in the mint class up front.
Oh, that's not Comfort Plus, sir. That's Mint. That's a whole other level.
Oh, you mean you were in first? You're just stepping over the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I called into the wrong show. You guys are only Comfort Plus.
Yeah, no. I'm just
no.
Comfort Plus.
Hold on. He's Comfort Plus, but I'm the first class kid.
Okay. Okay, Jimmy. I can talk to you, Sam.
I'm also a business class guy, though. So anything in the front of the plane I can discuss with you. Anything in the back of the plane.
That's more my speed. Yeah, I didn't understand when you're talking about pods and all that. I would like, what's this guy traveling?
Well, I actually didn't either. I thought, what the fuck are you talking about?
I thought he was talking about submarines.
Yeah,
I was like, this is totally unfamiliar to me.
Or casts.
Right,
what?
it's a pot of cast. There you go.
Terrible, just terrible.
Thank you, Dutch.
You got it, boys.
You got to watch what you. Love. Oh, this is a good question.
But that's why greasy processed food is always the way to go. It's never going to be bad. Like you're never going to go to a fast food restaurant and the food has gone bad.
It's not rotten because it starts bad. This is a good question. Chris in the Bronx has a good question for young Samuel.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
I experienced coming home from Ireland like an aborted landing, and that is like brutal because you're getting prepared to land, and then you see you're going back up in the air again.
Oh, yeah, that would...
Have you had that?
No, but then the psychology of it would drive me crazy, because I'd start having a panic attack. I'm never going to get out of here. I'm going to be sick for the rest of my life. Like, those are all the thoughts that instantly start to creep in. That's what I mean, because I get what he's saying, because when you're feeling sick and you're like, okay, I can maintain this for another couple of minutes, and then we'll be on the ground. And you look out the window and see you're still in the clouds. you're like, oh no, this is never going to happen. We're never going to be on the ground.
Yeah.
So I would go into full-on panic attack.
I've had one that was aborted, but it was in Vegas, and I could tell we were going
Just
down.
one, and with your lifestyle?
I know, believe it or not. Well, that's what happens when you aim for the hiney. We're going down, and I'm like, we're going back up, and the woman I was sitting next to was a flight attendant. And I had spilled my cereal on her, actually, because she was so hot, and I panicked and spilled my cereal, my milk on her blanket.
How old were you?
I was touring with Dice. It was fucking late 90s.
And you got scared and spilled milk?
No, before that. It was just the girl. I got nervous and I panicked and I did something. I lifted my blanket and spilled my milk with my cereal on her.
Oh, Jim.
I know.
Not exactly smooth.
No, but we went down, we went back up because we were just too close to the plane in front of us. My buddy Andrew, who moved to San Francisco, would come back and visit me once in a while. He was coming in on a United flight. He said, I think they had 2 or 3 aborted landings. It was the weather. It was really, really bad. And he said by the second and third time around, people were crying, screaming. It was just they could not get, like, whatever the thing that was happening, he said it was really fucking bad.
Just give me a parachute at that point.
But you got to take a pill. I'm telling you, if you do Dramamine, you would not have that panic anymore. I don't like it, but what do you do when you circle the airport, when you have to circle?
Fucked.
Do you ever have those bumpy circle, you spend a half hour, 40 minutes where you got holding patterns?
Totally fucked.
Yeah.
Totally fucked at that point. Royally.
You are, right?
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't agree with you, Sam?
About what?
Brendan in Long Island?
What's to disagree with?
Hey, Sam, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You just said about fast food basically being fail-safe, how it won't make you sick or anything. I've actually gotten food poisoning and then had to fly home 6 hours on a plane.
From fast food?
Yes, I did.
Oh, no.
Where were you going? From where to where?
I was going from Vegas to New York.
And how long before did you eat the food?
Say like 11 p.m. the night before.
Oh, fuck.
In the middle of the night, I woke up not feeling great, but I'm like, I have to get home. So I got on the plane like a half hour in, and game over. 6 hours.
Oh, that's terrible.
That really is the worst, dude. And again, people think I'm crazy. You can get a flu or something. I'm so paranoid about what I eat. Thanks for the call. I'm so paranoid about what I eat before I get on a plane. I literally will eat very like plain basic food, anything like that. The odds are against you getting sick, but that's what scares me is that fucking queasy, oh no, this is going to be salmonella for 8 hours.
I'll eat a Chick-fil-A and a fountain drink at 5 o'clock in the morning if it's available before I get on the plane, and that's like my fail-safe. That's like, oh my god, this is fantastic, this is going to go okay. I think part of it, I don't know if everybody feels it, but like you have to trick yourself into not realizing that you are held captive on this tube in the sky. Yeah. Like if I fall into realizing that that's what's going on, then I go into full-blown panic. So you need to be able to trick yourself and be comfortable and just like, okay, I'll just watch this movie on my iPad. I'll read this book. I'll do this. I'll listen to this podcast, whatever it is. And the minute you start feeling sick is when you start needing comforts or whatever it is.
Right.
And that's when you realize you don't have access to anything and your entire life is in control of the 2 people flying the plane.
Hopefully men.
Hopefully men. You're right.
It is in a way, but the safety of it is, so I know what you mean though, just the time you land.
You're stuck.
But you're like that in a train, and in a way you're like that in traffic, because there's the illusion where you can pull over. When's the last time you pulled over?
But you can.
But I mean, like, we don't.
Like, if the train stops and they're like, this train's never going to move again, I'd be like, I'm out of here, jump out the window. Whereas on a plane, it's like, look, we're going to try to land this thing. I don't know if it's going to happen. What? Not everybody's Sully Sullenberger.
No, but you're not going to crash.
You might. People have.
They have, but if
you might today.
Yeah, it's possible.
You never know.
Yeah, I just don't want to get blown out of the sky. That's all. Like, I just don't want something like the plane to fall apart. But if during a crash landing would suck, but you're already there. It's just the only difference between that and regular landing is you're fucking, it's not smooth.
You're not gonna. Also, there's a high risk of not surviving a crash landing.
Yeah, I would survive it.
Would you?
I would survive it
because you're like super strong. Like you're stronger than most people?
I just don't think I'm going to die anytime soon.
That's so cool, man.
No, I just don't believe I'm going to die anytime soon. I will eventually.
Yeah,
but
how many years do you think?
I don't. I want to go for a full physical.
Yeah,
I get nervous. My breathing is very bad, as people point out, and you're correct. I don't sleep, so those things are hurting me. I'm sure.
Sure.
I'm afraid of a stroke or a heart attack. But aside from that,
it's not going to happen.
I told you I went to the hospital in LA, right? I never do that.
For what?
I started to feel like a weird tingling in my left arm.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't tell you that. Yeah, I went to I'm not emergency room guy, panic guy, ever.
Mm-hmm. You do get concerned about your ailments more than it's on a lot of people.
Well, you do, but as you're in my late 40s, you start to realize that
That's true.
people, my fucking friends, have dropped dead.
Yeah.
So you start to go like, okay, I take good care of myself, but I don't sleep, and that is dangerous. So my manager and I were driving, and I could just feel like a tingling in my arm a little bit, a weird one. And I know it's like a heart attack sign, so I'm like, fuck this, man.
I think it also has to do with your friends dying. Like when you saw that happening and you were like, this really happens.
It does, but I also let it go for a little while, and I still kind of felt it was like little pings. It could have been from a workout or something, but I'm like, I don't want to fucking have not. My friend's sister just had something bad, and she could have just went. So I'm like, fuck it. It's like a little urgent care. I didn't panic about it. And I went in, and they're like, it's going to be a few hours for a room. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to leave. And they're like, well, no. And they sent me in for an EKG and blood pressure. And they
I
said,
like that. You go into the emergency care and play hardball.
But I wasn't. I did leave. I actually did leave. After my EKG, I just left.
That's like when you're buying a car. You're like, yeah, it's not the price for me. I'm going to walk out, and then they come get you in the parking lot. Wait! What if I can give you the true coat for 50% off?
Exactly. But this was an EKG, and they said I have like a little arrhythmia, whatever the fuck it is.
Arrhythmia?
Yeah, but something.
I don't know what it is.
I wasn't going to wait a few hours for a room because I didn't feel like it was urgent, or I would have waited.
What did your manager think of?
He said just get the EKG. He's like, definitely do it. Get some blood pressure. You'll be in and out. And Cedars-Sinai, they're very, very nice people.
Are you stressed out?
Well, always, but no more than the average person.
You think?
Well, a little maybe, but I panic.
Yeah.
But anyway, I forgot. It's not about my health. I'm fine. I'm just, this gal has a question. But I don't know why I mentioned that. Oh, just, you start getting panicky about things. You start thinking like, oh, fuck, do I need to?
Right.
So that whole helpless thing, sometimes you just get it checked out and you're okay. Shane, what's up, buddy?
Jimmy, I want to say that Clowny Clownerson was the funniest Chip podcast
Oh, thank you.
you have fucking done. It captures Chip to the fullest.
I almost didn't put Clownerson out. I was very, very freaked out. People noticed two edits. There's a piece of audio we took out because the volume was really wrong. There was music playing, so we took it out. It just didn't work. We tried to fix it. So that's what people see an edit. That's what the edit is. And the other one's a Steven Singer read that was before Mother's Day. That was a pre-tape. We did.
The way that Anthony and Lenny would save the interview with the fucking clown, and then Chip would come kick it right back down the fucking mountain.
Yeah, she was nice. I always interview nice people.
So Chip was interviewing a clown and decided to dress as a clown to interview the clown?
Yeah, it's on the phone. Thank you very much, Shane. What was your question?
Quick question for you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
That Lauren, is she single?
I don't know. I think she's dating someone. I've actually never asked for real. I don't know.
Why are you not hitting that, dude?
Well, I mean, it's not like Lauren has asked me and I've said no.
She hasn't brought it up?
Yeah, it's not like Lauren went, look, dude, that was a really fun Chip podcast. You want to go in the bathroom and fool around? I'm like, please, I got to go do shows.
Yeah, I got
It's never come up, sir. She might be dating somebody, but I really don't know. I have never actually asked her seriously.
You got to hit that, buddy.
No, thank you, Shane, very much. Look, Lauren Kubera, who's the producer, she's fucking hot.
Yes, she is.
But she's Chip's girl, and I can't fuck with her. And
because Chip would be mad at you.
And also, you said, what do you want to start doing? Phone, aren't you a producer? Who the fuck needs that?
Plus, then it gets real.
And the most important thing is, she's indicated not at all that she's interested in that.
Right, yeah.
She's shown no indication. That's a very big one. I can't make it look like it's just my decision.
But it would be funny. It would be really difficult to pull off the, Chip flirting with Lauren if you had already hooked up with her and then it had gone poorly.
It'd be too weird. Dude, she's fucking so good on that show.
Yeah.
She's really perfect for him. I'm happy that she does what she does.
Plus, it's nice that it would be too weird because, as you said, she doesn't appear to have any interest in it whatsoever.
She really doesn't.
No, she hasn't.
She really has shown zero interest.
Right. She's polite, but she's made no motions toward that at all that I've seen.
Yeah, and you're correct. And I tell her to look at the YouTube. I'm like, you never looked at the YouTube comments? They're all in love with her.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how good she's very pretty in person, but then on camera, I was like, fuck, she looks really good.
Right.
So all these fans are in love with her, so.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever makes you guys watch it.
Doesn't matter.
If it's all fuck Chip, you just like her, I'm totally happy with that. So, yeah, it scares me, man, to get sick on a plane. That really does. So I try to cut my odds down. I'll have this one coffee.
Yes.
And then nothing else. If I fly in the morning, maybe a couple of sips, just so I don't get a caffeine headache, and I can't, because it fucks your stomach up a little bit.
You're not going to have a bratwurst on the way to Germany?
I might sit on one.
Oh, okay. That's
No.
Oh, did you hear about the latest celebrity apology?
No, you were mentioning that. We got sidetracked. No, I did not.
This celebrity apology I actually agree with.
Wait. Let me guess. Is it an actor?
Yes. It's an actor. And I think it's right that he apologized. I normally am not one for apologies in general. I don't like apologies in my regular life. I think they're
O.J. Simpson for killing his ex-wife.
Unfortunately not. That would probably be a welcomed apology, but no, he did not apologize.
What was the apology about?
Well, I can't tell you that.
Oh, no?
Yeah, well, yeah. That's the second part.
What color? Oh, okay. What color is the actor?
I don't see color.
Oh, okay, but if what would somebody else say?
White.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's he been in? Oh, I know the apology.
Okay.
I did. I read the whole story. I love him. I understand why he apologized. He's just being a nice guy.
Being a nice guy and also being like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Orlando Bloom is apologizing for sex for sexing too good. Too much good sex.
He fucked a girl out of a career.
He did. He did. He fucked the bartender. And then the bartender was like, so Orlando Bloom is at some bar in England. I think it's a hotel bar. And he's sitting there, whatever. He's kicking it to this hot bartender. You see the photo of her?
Yeah, she's very pretty. And they were there for like 5 nights or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And I guess on the 5th night, her friend, the bartender's friend, blabbed about all of it to the paper. All the information about this is coming from the bartender's friend. So the bartender's friend lets the paper know that Orlando Bloom went in there. And, whatever, they're just hanging out. My God, she's a good-looking woman.
She's got very hefty breasts.
Yes.
Big hefty bosoms.
Yes.
Good for suckling.
And luckily, she already knew what she was about to encounter, because we've all seen Orlando Bloom's penis.
Have we?
Oh, yeah.
In what?
Paddleboarding with Katy Perry.
Dreams.
What?
Paddleboarding with Katy Perry.
Oh.
She's here today, actually.
Katy Perry, she was here yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh, was it yesterday? Okay. Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you see her?
No, I would have just been like, oh,
K to the P.
Katy Perry, you missed Orlando Bloom's dick. It's getting people fired. Yeah, so whatever. They had sex. He invited her up to his hotel room on, I guess, the last night.
That's Katy Perry?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. He invited her up to his... It's not the most flattering shot, I will admit that. So he invites this girl up to his hotel room. And they have sex and everything. And then he leaves early to do interviews.
In the hotel she works at.
Right. Because she's the bartendress. And I guess one of the hotel concierges or whatever come into the room.
How does that happen? Like, how?
Yeah, that's suspicious to me, too.
That's really weird. Somebody ratted her out.
Yeah, I think so.
I guarantee you somebody ratted her out.
A jealous fat bartender. A girl that no celebrity has ever tried to hook up with.
Well, you don't think Orlando Bloom said, get her out of my room? I don't think he did that.
Get out.
No.
Get out. She gets it. You're not cutting it. You're not going to make it.
You know what? Somebody probably told him there's been a rape upstairs. And so he ran upstairs.
Was there a rape?
No.
Sometimes the complaints.
It'll be false. See, 3 years I thought I would. I should be the manager.
Just competing in an improv exercise.
So poorly.
So one of the concierges or whatever, the hotel employees, they go up into the room and they look in and he goes, do you work at this hotel? She goes, yeah. And then he shuts the door and she got a text message a few hours later after she had left because Orlando Bloom had left before to do early press or whatever.
Was he going back to the hotel or no?
I don't know. But she left. And then she got a text message later that day that she'd been fired for fraternizing.
Yeah, I understand that the hotel doesn't want you fucking the guests.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's shitty, but I do get that why you can't go up and fuck the guests.
But she said the D was worth it. She said she was totally fine with being fired because they had a great night of intercourse, which is a bummer. You want to believe that somebody who's as good looking as Orlando Bloom either has like a small dick or comes really quick, or there's got to be something wrong with him. You want to
maybe she wants to hook up again. Maybe he was average and she's saying that so he'll see her again.
I don't know. Because she said it to her friend, and then her friend reported it, and she won't comment on it. You want to believe that there's some like great equalizer.
Sure.
That this person who on the surface has everything is shit when you peel back a few layers.
Yeah.
And the person who on the surface doesn't have much, when you start pulling back the layers, is like, oh, he's got that though.
So you don't like the fact that I have everything going on that I do, plus my penis is hefty.
No, I would say if your penis was hefty, it would even everything out.
You're saying that I have garbage on the outside.
yeah. Everything else is basura. But
she's beautiful, man.
I know.
Viviana Ross.
Yeah.
Oof.
And so he brought her upstairs, and now she got fired. Her friend said that it was a great night of sex, though. That was reported in the newspaper yesterday. The night of sex was great, and that she was fine being fired. Orlando Bloom has now reportedly apologized to the hotel bartender who allegedly got fired after spending the night. It says he reached out to Viviana Ross, after learning she'd lost her job, and apologized to her. He just said, "I'm sorry for what happened," a source close to the actor told the British newspaper. Oh.
She's fucking great.
How's that? This is like the worst kept tryst of all time. You have to believe that stuff like this happens always.
Yeah, of course.
Every element of this has just been exposed.
I fucked hotel bartenders.
No, you haven't.
I did at the Overlook. I fucked this guy Lloyd.
Mr. Norton.
Yeah, your comment's no good here, Mr. Norton. Wow, way.
He fucked her out of a job.
Let me see her on Twitter. How pretty is this girl? Go on now, Troy. Show me.
She's super hot.
She's a beautiful, but that's Orlando Bloom level ass.
Don't look at her Twitter. Look at her Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
You're good where you are.
Whatever that link was.
Yeah.
Oh, she is smoking hot. By the way, that hotel was known for celebrities. Do you know how good a celebrity you have to be to bang a hot bartender at a place known for celebrities?
All the celebrities go in there.
I would hit that.
Oh, cool. That's such a great observation.
That's not even a good picture of her. She looks boxy there. Go back. Let me see her fucking boxy look.
See, for me, I didn't love that photo because it was just her body in underwear, and I'm more of like a face guy. You know, I like a pretty face.
Ugh. People that say that, like, I like a girl's eyes. Do you, stupid?
Isn't that the worst?
Gives a fuck. I don't care if I don't care if she has fucking two like dead white eyes, like something in a horror movie.
Yeah. Non-sexual guys that are like, I like a face, you know, she's got to have a nice face.
She has a big clit. I don't care if she has pictures of Bin Laden taped to her eyes.
She'll become a model after this.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
At least an Instagram model,
Well,
right?
she wants to be an actress.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's pretty good at acting like she's a professional.
Yeah.
What? Professional what?
Bartender. She's very pretty. I would definitely smooch with her.
Little freckles on the nose.
I like little freckles on the nose.
Yeah, me, I'm like a face guy. So
Troy, what do you think?
I love it.
Would you?
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Would you give her acid nuzzle?
I do anything. I'd eat her shit.
You know what would be great?
Cool.
You wouldn't?
Of course.
I would love to see if Troy was in that bar, because Troy does pretty well with women.
That's
and he's sitting there, he's kicking his game and everything. Then Orlando Bloom walks in and he just goes, fuck.
I would have a chance.
God damn it.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom could out Troy because he's also good looking.
Right.
Some guys you just can't do anything about. Guys like that.
Of course.
You know, Sean Penn level famous.
Right.
Guys who are so respected and Bad Boy, Tommy Lee. You're not doing anything with these guys.
Right.
Singers.
They're bad boys.
And they're good looking.
They're really good looking. They've hooked up with celebrities. They're rich.
I mentioned two 50-year-old guys, too. I mean, well, they don't get Orlando Bloom is in his late 30s, right? 40s?
I think he's in his 40s.
Yeah, these are guys you just can't.
He's 40.
Yeah, and handsome dudes.
By the way, she didn't. It wasn't just good.
It wasn't?
No, it was exceptionally good.
Oh
I
my
don't want to
God.
hear that.
That's a girl. You know what it is? He probably went down on her. He probably went in there and fucking.
She didn't expect him to go down on her?
Not as well as he did. Jim Norton gets very good oral sex reports.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you got to be good at oral sex. I'm convinced people who are really good at oral sex are, they have to be, because if you're good at oral sex, then you can cover up for the fact that you don't last long once you're inside.
That's a fair synopsis.
I do that.
Orlando Bloom probably. It doesn't matter.
You don't think so?
Yeah, he's just good at everything.
He just eat a box for
Does
an
he have
hour.
a big penis or no? I didn't see the picture.
It's a nice size.
Yes.
Oh, it's not a tiny penis?
No way.
No.
No, it's a nice size. It looks like it would fit.
So weird.
What? No, I mean, like, you wouldn't. Isn't that how you describe something
Weird
like
thing
that?
to say.
Oh, my mistake.
No, see his penises.
There it is.
Oh, that's all right. For soft, that's not bad.
It's not bad. What's your preference?
No, I'm just saying it's on a bad size. It's fine.
You're sitting there. Katy Perry's in her bathing suit, and he's like, "Let me just free ball this one."
I'd love to do that with her if she didn't know I was going to take my clothes off.
It's just like you're not even on vacation together. You're just friends.
Yeah.
And you just take your bathing suit off while you're behind her.
Do you think he's just showing off because he knows he's in good shape?
He does. He's got nothing to be ashamed of, and so he's just decided to go naked. You know, I'm just more comfortable naked. Yeah. Well.
And she's got her full bathing suit on.
Of course she does. But yeah, so he gives exceptional sex, and he cost this woman her job.
Well, she'll probably get another job.
What, as a bartender? Yeah, she'll be fine. Look at her.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll.
She go that fucked Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
No, all right.
Here's the problem. I hope she does make it famous as an actress. And then every interview she does, she's like, I'm here to promote my new movie. And they're like, remember when you fucked Orlando Bloom and lost your bartender job? Like, this never goes away.
Trump met the Pope. I just saw the video. Do you think that he was nice to the Pope?
I think he was polite, but he didn't speak to him with the proper amount of reverence.
No?
No, I think Trump probably looks at himself and the Pope as fairly equal.
I don't know. Isn't he like Catholic, though?
Trump, I probably on paper, but he's not a guy who, like, religion is not a big part of Donald Trump's life.
No, but, you know, when you grow Catholic, the Pope's a big deal.
Donald Trump, the deity that Donald Trump believes in is Donald Trump.
Okay.
He believes himself to be in charge of his world.
Oh, Lori is so sexy, by the way.
Who's Lori?
Hi, Lori.
Good morning, guys.
Hey.
Who's Lori?
I don't know her.
You just think she's
Listen,
sexy?
You guys need to get on Google and check out the pictures of Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry naked on a paddleboard.
I saw that. What do you think of him?
Okay. So you're going to understand why this bartender is okay, dude. I would lose my arm for a night with that.
Why?
Are you kidding me?
Nobody's ever said that about me.
Why?
Huge.
You like penis size?
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
You prefer it to be a little bigger?
A little bit. You know, yeah.
Fuck yes.
You know.
Lori wrote, he's very hung. I love when a girl talks about a guy's dick. It's so dirty.
Lori, if you
He's so naughty, Lori.
if you go any further, he'll be pinching the helmet.
Yeah.
I see that look in his eyes. He wants
I'm getting glassed over. I love when a woman talks about it because it's so inappropriate.
It really is inappropriate.
Oh, God.
So, Lori, you would actually take it. If you knew a guy had a big dick, you'd be more likely to have sex with him?
Yes, absolutely.
Lori, would you make poor life decisions, like maybe ruin relationships and stuff because you were...
Would I?
Yeah.
Would I? I have.
Tell me. What happened?
You know, I could make something up fabulous right now, but you know, just when you know that there's something good downstairs, you're happy to go down and see what's up.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
So when you know, guys, there's a lot of words you use. So you know when there's something good downstairs, you're happy to go down and see what's up. Happy to suck a big dick.
You're pretty much.
I like Lori.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do, Lori. You're a good girl. I'd love you to whisper that to me while I play with my nipples.
Would you like Lori to talk about what you're working with, Jim, or would you like her to talk about her experience with people who are maybe more well-hung than you?
Both would be fun, but I like when I guess I'm so jaded, the humiliation is kind of fun. That's what I like.
Yeah, I'm not good at humiliating.
No, that is humiliating, though. That type of not mean humiliating, but just talking about your other experiences makes you a dirty girl to me, and it turns me on.
Lori, are you in a relationship?
I actually married the biggest penis I ever had.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, good for both of you. And good for him that he knows he's the biggest penis that you ever had.
Yeah, I'm not stupid.
Have you told him?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Does he like hearing it, or does he go, come on, stop talking about it?
He knows. When you've got that, you know what you have. I mean, he knows.
Yeah.
If you found a bigger one, would it put the relationship at risk?
You know, I'd like to say yes, but
then just say yes. Just say yes.
Okay,
just
yes,
say, oh, that's what I thought.
But he's big enough where it doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
Do you like that she just sticks around for the dick?
Yeah. I like that. I like that his dick was so big she had to own it.
Yeah, exactly.
What a good egg you are, Lori. Naughty girl.
Do you think when he's erect, she grabs it and goes, I bought this?
Yeah, she probably... Do you ever slap your face with it and go, oh, what a girthy fella?
I did. I dislocated my jaw. It was painful.
Did you really? You married to Jake LaMotta? What happened?
Just tell him you did it with my cock.
Why, you were giving him head and your jaw got dislocated?
I had to get it popped back. Yeah.
Jesus, have you ever eaten a villager or a small pig? Just fucking snake.
See the outline of a deer in her belly.
Lori's awesome.
You like Lori?
Yeah, I like her husband more. Well, good guy he is. I'd love to have a fucking girl that had an injury.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
12 years.
12 years. Do you have kids?
One. Yep.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
I bet he's packing.
I knew you were going there.
That's a fair question.
It is fair. I can't go there.
Understandable.
No, you probably shouldn't. I would probably
Understandable, but hopefully his father. Believe me, if he has a big dick, the father knows it. And he brags about it to his friends. Like,
I'm sure he does.
And to be fair, I'd probably look into calling CPS if you called a radio show to brag about your son's cock size.
When you're a parent, you know your kid's penis size. It's probably fun. It's probably fun. I've heard parents bragging, like giggling, like after when the baby is born, and oh my god, he's like his father, and they laugh like he's gonna have a good life. Yeah, I think it's funny. All right,
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Thank you very much, Lori. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean to hang up on you because Samantha here, sexy. Hi, Samantha.
Oh my god.
Hi, Jim.
What were you saying?
So, as a fellow size queen, I would call that sinking in dick sand.
Really?
Sinking in dick sand.
Fuck yeah. So you're a size queen?
Yeah, I am.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Why? Because there's just too much dick out there?
I'm getting a divorce. I'm going through a divorce right now.
Oh, no. Did you cheat on him, or was it just other stuff?
No, it was just didn't work out.
Okay.
Yeah. Why didn't it work out?
Yeah, tell us.
He was poorly hung?
Yeah, he is.
Is he poorly endowed?
Yeah, severely. Oh God, I hope he
no.
doesn't listen to this. Whatever.
Can you imagine your wife's divorcing you and you know that...
Imagine, it's what I dream about.
She's a size... You know she's a size queen? And you know you don't have... Have you told him that you like big dicks?
I told him that he has a small one.
Oh my God.
Was that in a moment of anger at the divorce?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I know. I'm terrible.
Troy, you'd be bummed out if you heard that?
Yes.
You should see some of the texts I get. Once in a while, I know a young lady who will just tell me that she'd much rather suck a bigger dick. My dick's pathetic.
Yeah, that's to get, choke me a little bit.
You get upset when those texts come in, Jim?
No. No, they're just... I understand the tone of them. They're taunting and fun.
Right.
She's being dirty.
Yeah.
Right. It's hot. She meant
God.
it. My feelings would be hurt.
Well, so you're going through a divorce.
Jim?
You're going through
Yeah.
a divorce. Have you had any relations outside of the relationship while this proceeding is happening?
No, I haven't. I mean, it's been a year and a half now, but I haven't yet. I also have a 5-year-old, so I'm kind of busy and, working a lot. But
you're still
him.
You're still hungry for a big, thick one, huh?
Yeah. You're still hungry for a fucking girthy... you want to bottom out.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm missing the big cock. So,
So you're just going to ask me something. Salmon bran muffins. Go ahead.
no, Sam, I messaged you the other day on Instagram about L.A.
What? Me?
No, I'm sorry, Jim. I'm sorry. You said Sam. Yeah,
What'd
Jim.
you say?
How'd I miss that?
No. Oh, no, Jim, I asked if you were going to be in L.A. this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I remember you. Did I write you back? Did I write you back?
Yeah, you said you're going to be away. I'm like, I'm going to be in L.A. I'm going to be solo.
Oh, that was very sweet. Yeah, she's cute, but no, I'm going to be away.
Jim's trying right now. He's on this phone.
I'm looking for it. I'll be on a show
He's
soon.
trying to figure out how to rearrange his travel schedule so he can be in LA this weekend.
No, but I just wanted to let her know that she's not the only size queen out there. There's plenty of us around.
I don't know why that's so hot to me when a girl thinks that. 'Cause my dick's fine. It's not. It's average. But it's not like it's
Well, girls aren't supposed to be that sexual, especially when it comes to physical.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah,
we're all.
Well, and I am like super filthy. Like I love to talk dirty, and like my ex just wasn't into that, and I'm just like, slap me on the face with it, or whatever. Just I like to be kind of thrown around a little bit and to, talk as dirty or filthy as I can.
Yeah, because we're conditioned to believe that women, like for women, it's more mental, and they like rose petals and like being true.
And then outside, I'm a sweet girl. I have a good job, and I'm a good mom or whatever. But in the bedroom, it's a different story.
Would you consider yourself a lady in the streets, but a freak in the bed?
I sure would.
Good for you.
Do you ever you never told your husband about how much you love giant penises?
No. I think he gets it. after I've said, I'm sick
Yeah.
of you and your small dick, and you can't do anything. Yeah, I know. Oh God, I've said terrible things.
That's rough.
horrible.
That will stick with him.
Forever.
Yeah, I know.
That's a
Don't tell me that.
Nah,
That's a forever thing.
Thank you, Samantha, very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate your
All
call. Love. You got to
Samantha
understand.
B. This chick's Samantha D.
Yeah, once in a while, you got to take what hurts you and make it part of your
Yeah.
fetish, or it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's going to kill you. All right, we got a break. We got Travis just said, when Travis Dog says break, we have a very fun show. Today is a very big day for me personally. I'm very, very happy. We have Alan Alda.
That's right.
Finally, he'll be here very shortly. And we also have my pal Anthony Michael Hall coming in studio to promote his new film with Brad Pitt.
That's right.
And the live show in Florida, in Montreal. When are we doing that, Travis?
Montreal is the Florida of Canada.
Yes.
July 27th, 28th?
Yep, Thursday and Friday we're going to be up there at Just for Laughs. I'm doing a couple of shows up there, and the whole show. Sam, Travis Dog, Troy, we're all coming up there and doing a couple of live shows. It's going to be a really, really fun trip.
But for us, it's going to be a little more edgy, so instead of Just for Laughs, we're going to change it to Just Fucking Laughs.
Yeah. Is Alan here or no?
Not yet. Roland's waiting downstairs for him.
All right, I'll be right back.
Wait, oh, jeez.
We are returning. You can bring him right in. This is the longest 2 minutes of my life, by the way. We're sitting here. Hi, Alan.
Hi.
Welcome, Alan Alda.
We're in break, and I see we have 3 minutes left, and I see Alan Alda walk up. I'm so frustrated that we're not on the air, so I'm sorry to make you wait.
Not at all. Don't worry about it.
And we are on right now, just so you know, too. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I liked your book. I haven't read all of it because we got it kind of late. The book is called If I Understood You, Would I Have This Look on My Face? And I've literally never read anything written about people focusing and listening and paying attention, kind of the way you're talking about in this book.
The interesting thing is that what I found out while I was working on this was that the person talking has to do more listening than the person listening. Does that make sense?
It does make sense because you talked about, well, if I'm talking and then I'm not like thinking about what you're saying, I'm just thinking about my next statement.
Right.
And then people are just kind of like, no one is really listening to each other.
Right. And not only that, if I'm not thinking about how you're getting what I'm saying, then I'm not really working on getting you to understand it. I'm only working on how I'm saying it. There's a big difference between what I say and what you get. And what's the point of saying it if you don't get it?
Yeah.
So it's really a reversal of what we think of as listening or communicating.
So you're waiting for responses to see.
Yeah, you're reading the other person's face, their body language, and you're trying to figure out what's their state of mind. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? And the funny thing is, we don't really take each other in much. I mean, I've been talking to you now for 30 seconds. I'm just noticing your eyes.
He's unpleasant to look at, isn't he?
No, that's not. That's
not.
not.
No, up until then, he had just sort of a blank piece of skin over his face. You know?
How do you refocus? If you're talking to somebody and you find yourself zoning out, which we all do,
Yeah.
how do you get yourself to refocus and go, all right, I got to listen to what this person's
I
saying?
just start looking at them. It's every time I do that. This is really amazing. Every time I do it, I realize I hadn't been seeing them a second before.
Really?
And when I start really seeing them, the shape of your eyebrows, that little crease you have between your eyes.
Yeah.
I just saw that now.
Yeah, it won't go away. Sometimes I try to make it. It's because I've scowled for so many years, and I can't get it to go away.
Well, all of a sudden, I'm seeing Botox. That would
Right.
solve communication completely. so I noticed this now, and now all of a sudden, it actually has a change in the way I speak. It's the sound of my voice, the look on my face. Noticing you, letting you into my field of vision, changes me, and then that in turn changes you because you see it in me. There's a dynamic interrelation that's really interesting that happens just by seeing each other.
Yeah, and really paying attention and kind of you talked about being in somebody, having this moment with a person where you're kind of allowing yourself to be in their space, so you're connecting. I forget how you wrote it, but it was really smart and it made perfect sense. I'm not doing it justice.
I forget how I wrote it.
Okay, good.
It's got to be tough for you though, because I would think in your position, you're like, the things that I've done in my life.
Yeah.
Odds are are much more interesting than the person that I'm talking to because you've done so much.
Yeah, no, maybe I'm score really high on the humility scale, but as you can tell from that last sentence. But I really am interested in other people. I find it's very often somebody who I think at first glance, oh, this is going to be a hard dinner because this person's not going to be interesting. So sometimes I say, what are you passionate about? Not what you do for a living or what, how you spend your, what are you really passionate about? And all of a sudden they come out with stuff that's really interesting and we have a conversation. Except there's one time I said, what are you passionate about? And she said, well, I like golf. I felt bad for her. I voted to give her a passion injection.
Is that a euphemism for something? Or?
No.
Yeah, that's weird because Jim's passionate about passion injections. So.
And you talked about, too, it's funny because I've been such a fan for so long. And you talked about, I took a photo with you one time years ago, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't look like he enjoyed himself in the photo. And then I read something in here where you talked about you went to a dentist and he did something to you.
Yeah.
What was it can you explain what that dentist?
If you put your tongue between the top of your front teeth and the lip, there's that little tissue there.
Right.
Yeah, that's called the frenum or the frenum. And he cut mine because he had some new. I don't think I'm just feeling for it. I don't think I have barely any left. He said he had a new invention, a new operation he wanted to do on my gum, and in the process he cut this little tissue, and my lip drooped down like a drape. And so I was making a movie a couple of weeks later, and the cameraman came over and said, "I thought you were supposed to smile in that shot." I said, "I did."
Oh,
he said,
no,
you were sneering. And I looked in the mirror, and there was this I had a smilectomy.
Oh, really?
Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, right. So my smile is a little altered. I have to consciously pull back my cheeks to get a smile.
Well, wasn't he supposed to do a two-part procedure?
There was supposed to be 2 parts. I can't remember if I let him into my mouth again.
Oh boy, if I said that.
I blanked out on that completely.
So you talked about the reason that was important was because you speak about how you didn't communicate. He was a shitty communicator.
Neither one of us did. Neither one of us communicated. All he said, he had the knife in front of my face, and he said, "Now there'll be some tethering." And I stopped. I didn't know what he meant. Tethering. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Tethering." I said, "What's tethering?" He said, "Tethering." He started to get really pissed at me, and that's all he said. And I was over the age of 50, but I should have had the strength, the wherewithal to say, put the knife down, put the scalpel down, and tell me what you're talking about.
Right.
And I didn't. And he cut, and boom, there went my smile, at least for a while. I got some of my smile back.
Yeah.
But that's funny that you're Alan Alda, and even you have those moments of it's almost like you feel like a little kid in the doctor's chair and just not able to just talk to him as another adult and go, wait a minute, I want to know what you're doing.
Yeah, see, I need practice in what this book teaches, which I got while I was writing it, and I learned a lot more about how to take care of myself in a communication. But I don't know I'm Alan Alda until people tell me.
Really? You don't feel like it? You don't feel like Alan
I
Alda?
just found out a second ago from you.
And then you'll forget again.
Yeah, right.
Do you think is it generational? Because the stereotype of millennials is that they're kind of self-obsessed, and this culture of using your phone so much has left them with the inability to connect the way previous generations could. Do you see that when you're I don't know if the word is researching, but researching this stuff?
Well, we've taught at the Center for Communicating Science that I helped start at Stony Brook University. We've across the country and in other countries, we've trained about 8,000 scientists and doctors of all ages. Some of them are senior scientists, some of them are graduate students. So we've got millennials and everybody else. And I don't think this communication problem is confined to any one generation. I think we all tend. It's such a curious thing. We all tend to be preoccupied with what we want to say, not how the other person is taking it. No matter what the age is, but no matter how good we are at having fun with another person, it's a weird thing. We're social animals, and yet we avoid socializing with each other in a real deep way. It's it's easier to be superficial about it. But if we want to communicate something, if we want to get a better job, if we have to go talk to the boss, we got to see where the boss is before we bring up this really difficult subject. And as we bring it up, we got to bring it up in a way that the boss can hear it and be with us.
Well, that whole thing you're talking about, that feeling somebody out, that whole kind of seeing in the moment. You're like an old school improv guy, which is kind of you started doing improv.
That's the only training I ever had as an actor.
And where did you, was it
with Paul Sills? It was we were on the stage of Second City, but it wasn't Second City stuff. It wasn't comedy improv.
Well, what were you improv?
It was Viola Spolin's theater games, which are not intended for comedy. I mean, you can use them to get comedy. And there's a lot of laughing because it's the laughing that you get from seeing spontaneity. You know, that makes you giggle when the unconscious suddenly comes to the surface. It's funny.
When it kind of feels alive and you know it's just happening right there.
But that's just more like joy than laughter. You know, it's no jokes. So what I teach and the people I work with teach improvisation for communication purposes. It's so that you can establish this connection with another person, because you can't do improv unless you're connected. And the early exercises in improv put you in sync with the other person. You're almost one unit. You know, the whole yes and thing, the byword of a lot of improvisers. Yes and, the basis of yes and is you got to make your partner look good. You can't take it away from your partner. Your partner says, you're in a scene, your partner says, look at the water down there. And if you say, that's not water, that's the floor, you'll get a laugh out of that, but that's the end of the scene, and you've just made your partner look bad.
Right.
On the contrary, you'd say, you take what you get from your partner, whatever it is. However weird it is, look at that water down there. You say, yeah, let's jump in. Yes, let's jump in and let's catch on to that whale out there. Now, all of a sudden, you've added to what your partner said, and you each are contributing to the other. That's what a communication can be.
So when you started, and when did you go into comedy improv from there? Like, when did you start doing that?
First, it was a very interesting progress. I really saw the importance of real training in improv, because the first improvisation I did was in a cabaret in the basement of a hotel in Hyannisport. It was the same hotel that John Kennedy was doing his press conferences during that summer we were there.
Was it the same time? Like, it was all around the same time?
It was in the summer. He would do his press conferences in the morning and upstairs in the hotel, and at night I would play Kennedy in a mock press conference, and the same reporters would come to both.
And ask you mock questions or real questions?
They'd ask me the same questions they'd asked him, but hadn't been in the papers yet, so I didn't know what they were talking about. So it was a true improvisation.
So you were improvising as Kennedy to the same reporters?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
So we did the 2-hour show, and the second hour was total spot improvisation, no preparation whatsoever. They'd give us suggestions from the audience, headlines and things like that. That was just what I would call guts improvising. There was no preparation for it, except you had a few characters you could call on, you know. But a year or two after that, I worked with Paul Sills on this more basic kind of improvising, the Viola Spolin invented a long time ago, like 60, 70 years ago.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you, who were some of those guys you worked with back in those?
Diana Sands, who's dead now, and Rennie Santoni, who I don't know. Yeah, they were extremely talented people, but you probably haven't heard of most of them.
Oh, okay. They're just people that were around at that time and not necessarily now.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Kennedy?
No, I never met him. I did him, but I never met him.
How great is it to, like, when we hear scientists, right? This information that they have is information that we should all have. So we kind of look at them as they're these geniuses there to teach us because we don't have any of this information.
Yeah.
How great is it to take information that you have and a skill set that you have and be able to teach these people that generally we would look at as...
That's a nice question. You know, what's nice about it is almost all of them are eager to get better at what they do. And they accept the idea that I have some experience in a field they don't have experience in, and they see it working.
Right.
They see one another in a workshop. They see one another struggle to be understood. And sometimes fellow scientists don't understand what they're saying. I mean, that's a revelation sometimes. You know what's a really sad statistic is that we sometimes ask them, when you go to a conference and you hear papers presented by people in your field, how much of it do you understand? And often they say about 20%.
Wow.
That's not good.
Do you think they're embarrassed? Do you think they're embarrassed to ask what does that mean because they don't want to look stupid?
Well, they're in the audience. The person is reading from a paper or talking, and they don't. They go there to learn something. So it's not that it's something they haven't heard before. It's that they're there to learn, but they can't follow the person who's telling them about it, even though it's in their own field.
Yeah, as an onlooker, you want to say, well, I don't understand what they're talking about, but I'm assuming the industry does.
Yeah, right. And it's shocking how things get just clogged up in a logjam in all kinds of communication, in business and in personal relations. I don't know if you got to the sections in the book about husbands and wives, lovers, parents and children. I mean, all of that is jammed up with not good communication. We all have that in our lives. We recognize it. Why are you talking to me in that tone of voice?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Are you a good communicator with stuff like that? Like, are you good? Like, if your wife is mad.
He wrote the book. He better be.
Yeah,
but some people don't practice.
My wife is home laughing now.
Oh, is she? Are you good at going, hey, look, I'm really sorry, or are you are bad at that?
I used to be terrible at it.
You were?
Yeah. The kind of I'm sorry with what that says. I have an excuse.
Oh.
If you're sorry, there's no excuse.
Right. I'm sorry, but I had to do it.
I had to do it the way you were behaving.
Yeah.
It was
but
you.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I'm sorry you were like that.
Isn't it weird though, those arguments you get into with someone you're dating or married to? It's like there's those furious, power-driven arguments, and nothing. It's like I never hear what the other person's saying to me. I'm just angry, and I want them to feel that I'm angry.
What's interesting is what this kind of approach tends to do is build up your ability at empathy. And empathy is not sympathy. It's not compassion. It's just a tool. It's just knowing what's happening in their head. And if you know that, and if you also want to use it to the advantage of both of you and not just to your advantage, then you can use empathy to say, oh, wait, I think I get what's going on here. I think I understand what she was really after and how I didn't meet her expectations, and maybe we can work that out. Or you can say, use it against her and make her even unhappier.
Yeah. That sometimes I'm sure that's the more fun option. But it's weird with empathy too. Like, there's a weird part of me at times that will think, oh no, that's weakness. To be empathetic, I'm being weak.
Some people define empathy that way. I don't use it that way because the way I see it working in communication is it's just a tool, and you can build it up. And the more you build it up, the more it gives you a chance. It has made me feel that other people are less annoying.
Oh, I see
where the annoying behavior is coming from, and I say, oh, I see. Okay, I don't have to get upset about this. It's not directed at me. They're going through something.
They're awful, or they're
having trouble at home, or they're sick. Whatever it is. I got in a taxi once, and I was getting mad at him, and then I realized he had to get someplace and get to the bathroom, and I thought, well, that's kind of more important than what I'm worried about here.
Yeah, it's a nice way for you to look at it, because I would always think that my trip is more important than his bathroom habits.
Yeah, right.
I'm awful.
But the guy, he saw me helping him find where to go, which ordinarily would get me upset because I used to drive a cab, and I thought it was my responsibility to know how to get there. So when I started helping him find where we were on the map, because I got out my cell phone, I was getting I was in an ecstasy of empathy.
Yeah, you are now involved completely.
Yeah. He said, nobody gets in this cab is nice like you. I'm taking you exactly to where you're going. I said, no, go drop me off a block away. You can go to the gas station at 96th Street. And he said, no, I'm taking you where you're going. Now the guy is devoting his kidneys to me.
Well, you grew up with mental illness in your family, right?
Yeah, my mother was schizophrenic.
So does that change the way you look at communication, because like when you have that kind of mental illness from your mom, there are behaviors that you have to, you don't want to use the word excuse, but you have to at least say, well, that's an illness.
Well,
that's
see,
doing
that was first of all, in those days, nobody talked about it. My father and I both suffered from her mental illness, and neither one of us would ever talk about it.
You didn't even connect together?
No.
Wow.
Never once.
Wow.
And so I wasn't as aware that she was mentally ill as I was aware that I wasn't getting mothering from her. And I didn't like her for it. Sometimes I hated her. I really needed what's in this book. I needed to see what was underneath. And it was only later in life, when, before she died, I realized that she couldn't help it.
Right.
And I tried to take care of her as much as I could and make up for how I felt about her earlier. And I didn't want to feel guilty after she died. I wanted to I put more into it than was reasonable, I thought, because I really wanted to ease her way out. When she had a hard time, it's very painful to be mentally ill.
And your dad, you never even because your dad would be enmeshed with you sometimes, and you never even as adults later in life had any type of what would happen if things went crazy. How would you two address it? Would it just be like, it's your mom?
We just cope with it. She was also alcoholic and paranoid, and would have she'd tear the drapes down and scream all night, and it was a very difficult childhood. Interestingly, it gave me put me in the habit of reading her really carefully, because I had to figure out whether I was getting reality from her or just her reality. And so I think that helped me as an actor and a writer, because I'm more observant and I look for what's under the surface. Maybe it helped me with working on this book. Even though you can always get better, and I got better at all these things as I worked on it.
Because you're trained in talking to somebody, right, and finding out exactly where they are, and exactly because you know how you're going to be affected by exactly what type of place they're in.
Right. Yeah, it was a real interesting training ground.
At what point in your childhood did you realize this is not typical? Because a lot of times, if it's in our house, we just assume
I never knew it wasn't typical. When it was interesting into my teens and early 20s when people say, "Oh, I love my mother so much," I'd say, "Really?" I thought everybody had a difficult mother.
Did you feel guilty feeling that
kind
way?
of a person? What is this? A nice mother? What?
Did you feel guilty not liking her?
Pardon me?
Did you feel guilty not liking her?
I can't remember. I think it was sort of a scab I had, protected me.
How old were you when she passed away?
I was in my 50s.
Oh, so she saw you go on to success and do what you did.
Yeah.
Did she think you weren't smiling at her? Because that was the same time you smiled.
My son frowns too much.
It didn't play into the paranoia too well.
Yeah, I was thinking, what's he really thinking now?
He's going to kill me now.
He's frowning at me.
Do you have any of that? Did you get any of that? Because a lot of times it's hereditary. Did any of that?
I don't think so. But watch your step.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, at least we know. I mean, if you don't think you have it, at least we know the paranoia didn't kick in, right?
Yeah. Well, no, you're never paranoid about yourself. It's always about other people.
It's always other people.
What are they saying when I leave the room? Yeah.
Did you guys almost I have to ask you. I just want to ask one MASH question. Really, did you guys almost really get canceled in the first season or after the first season?
Excuse me. No, I don't think so. But we were at the bottom of the ratings list. I used to tell people we're in the top 78. And it was only when we went into reruns and people had seen the other shows already and they tried out ours in that first season of reruns that we got started to build an audience. And in the second year, we had a real audience. And
for people not familiar, after season 3, I think McLean Stevenson decided to leave. And do you remember when that happened, going like, what are you doing? Things are just getting good.
I thought he was making a mistake, and we ran into him on an escalator a couple of years later, and he said, I really am sorry I did that.
Oh, wow.
He was blinded by an offer from another network that said they were going to put millions into his career, and he'd give him a show, his own show. And
Hello, Larry.
Yeah. And it just on the face of it, if you're doing something as groundbreaking as MASH, there really is no other show that you can think of that would be something to take a bet on.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where in that moment, I guess and what they did was so amazing with him because they left no room for him to come back.
They were mad at him.
Oh, they were?
Yeah. Yeah, they said, you're going to go. You're dead.
Yeah, we're going to kill you off out of spite.
Yeah.
Did you guys really not know that they were killing him off until...
I knew a little before, but then nobody else knew. And then a lot of the reaction that the people had on camera was reacting to, individualizing it with McLean.
Knowing that, like, when they heard that announcement...
They wouldn't see McLean again.
Yeah, they knew he wasn't going to come back on the Christmas special. There was going to be no way to do it.
And I think he was standing in the shadows in the back when we did the scene. I think it really affected him.
Wow, he was there.
Yeah.
Oh, so he didn't even know until he read it, or?
I don't know if he knew.
Man.
Have you ever been killed off something where they don't tell you you're going to be killed off until...
No, they told me.
They told you?
They said I was doing Blacklist, and it was really going well, and I really loved working with Spader, and we both enjoyed the interaction. So they said, okay, this is great. We got 2 shows where you're really heavy in, and they start on Monday. I said, well, but the thing is, on Monday I start acting on Broadway in a play. You want me to come in during the day and shoot the shows? I said, no, it's too much. You can't do it. You got matinees. You can't do it. Come in Saturday and we'll blow your head off. And then we'll give the part to this other guy. We'll just change the name.
Is that how they did it? They blew your head off?
Yeah.
Don't you love it? It takes the romance right out of it, doesn't it?
Well, did you like
show business?
Yeah.
Sometimes they actually blow your head off.
And we have 2 minutes left with you. Alan is promoting If I Understood You, Would I Have This Look on My Face? And it's my adventures in the arts of science, of relating and communicating. And what I've read of it, it's really a good book, and it's really interesting the way you talk about communicating. And you're doing something with Neil deGrasse Tyson at the 92nd Street Y. When is that?
Yeah, we're talking about communication. When is that? That's the 6th or 7th of June.
Okay, so coming up in a few weeks.
June 7th.
June 7th,
at the 92nd Street Y in New York.
That should be a lot of fun.
That will be amazing. It'll be hard to get tickets for.
And at the World Science Festival, Tina Fey and I are talking about communication.
Oh, you are?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you talk to scientists. I mean, they're a scientist who can't communicate, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michio Kaku. These are guys who are really good at explaining things to people who aren't scientists, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Because so many of them can't talk.
And what's wonderful for me personally is that I've realized while I was teaching scientists that it applied to everybody and not just scientists. And that's what's all over the book is how we all can make use of that this kind of better communication works, to put it in a corny way, from the boardroom to the bedroom.
Yeah.
Before you go, while we start with you for a second, first of all, it's not a question, but you're brilliant in The Aviator.
Oh, thank you.
But the question is, how did
you have any other non-questions? I'd be glad to.
Just accept it.
Feel free.
How did you end up doing Horace and Pete, and what was the process like working with Louis?
It was great. I think my agent suggested me to Louis C.K., and he said, he's nothing like this. And she said, she's wonderful. She said, he can do anything. Talk to him. So I read it, and it's such a brilliant script. I talked with Louis, and I said, I'd really like to be part of this. And he said, well, it's not you. You're not him. I said, well, I know. But when I don't know how I'm going to do something, that's like the best way to start. That's how I was with Hawkeye. I didn't see myself as that character at all. But that makes you do something original.
Yeah.
So he said, well, if you want to do it, then you would know best. So, okay. I mean, he's wonderful. He really takes a risk.
But it's amazing, too, that he had balls enough, like, when you were, like, interested, he was like, well, I don't know if you want to do this. Like, you would think if you had this project and Alan Alda shows up, you're like, yeah, do it.
No, he is very, he's a very interesting guy. He's a kind of improviser, but he's also a master planner. He's a brilliant guy. I was very glad to work with him.
Yeah, we have to wrap up with you. Also, I saw you in Glengarry Glen Ross when you did that on Broadway. Yeah, as Shelley, you were fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, I guess we have to wrap up the book. If I understood you, would I have this look on my face? You're literally one of my favorite people in history. So
Thank you.
I've been wanting to interview you and talk to you for probably 15 years. I've been like, get Alan Alda. So you finally.
And I'll mention the appearances.
Yeah. Oh, there you got him good.
Yes, June 7th, as we said, he's with Neil deGrasse Tyson at the 92nd Street Y. You can see Alan June 10th at Barnes & Noble's in Union Square here in New York at 2 p.m. He's going to be in Los Angeles on June 12th and Atlanta on June 27th.
I didn't even know about some of those. Thank you.
Yeah, they tell us. They never tell you. They tell us
regularly.
It's a great show. We're going to take a quick break, and thank you. I'm so happy you're here.
It was great talking to you both.
Be right back. I'm so happy Alan Alda came.
He was great.
81 years old. And I've been telling Sam, I've been complimenting Sam. I'm so happy. I know I've read his books. And I literally just forgot about the mental illness in his family and the very, very volatile mom he had. And I'm really happy you asked that question. That was such a good question because I totally forgot that was a part of his life.
Bro, I'm the last professional broadcaster. It's what I do.
Yeah. I'm just glad you remembered. That's all.
Sam, did you notice when he said that you asked such a nice question?
It took everything inside me to not say I was just thinking that.
You should have. He probably would have enjoyed it.
When he was like, well, he said that's a very, and that wasn't even about his mom. That was the question about.
That was before.
About teaching, getting to teach scientists, because that's all I was thinking about. Was like he has this skill set, and
you don't need to run through what your motive behind the question was.
It was a nice question.
I think that people like a little insight into my method. You know, because they look like, how can a person be this brilliant? And I go, well, let me explain to you how some of the work's done.
Do you like that the scientists listen to you? I wouldn't have classified that as brilliant.
I've always wanted, because actors don't get taken seriously. You know what I mean? So the ability, he's twisted this. It's such a great scam. I wish that I could meet a scientist that was like, oh, Sam, tell me more about pro wrestling trivia. You know what I mean? It's hard to get that kind of respect from scientists.
I do understand that. I do understand your issue with that, or your point.
My point.
Yeah, it's not a bad point. I'm a little distracted.
What are you distracted by?
Just thinking about Alan Alda.
Were you happy?
Oh my God, he had fun too.
This wasn't about my great questions. It was about Alan Alda.
Fucking, he's literally one of my favorite people. It was so hard not to be a total fucking fanboy.
I was telling Spencer that, I can't remember somebody else that you have wanted to interview for as long as I've known you.
Right.
And it finally happened.
I told that, I think I said that's Alan. I said to Spencer, I've been wanting to talk to him for literally 15, my whole life. My whole life. But I'm glad he was in, and he was really, really a nice dude. And like I said, I've met him. Louis introduced me to him. He doesn't remember, but I went to a film he did with me and Louis. I can't even talk. Louis one time.
So excited.
He did a film with Alan Alda. Yeah. And I was so excited that he did this movie with Alan Alda. This is before Louis went through the roof. And I'm like, dude, I want to meet him. He goes, well, come to the cast party. We're having a cast party. I'll bring you. So that night I talked to Louis, and he goes, it looks like he's not going to come. He goes, you want to go to dinner? I'm going with Chris Rock if you want to go to dinner. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not going to pass the dinner with Chris Rock. So I went there, and
were you like, I'm such a fan of Chris Rock. All I want to do is meet him.
No, I like Chris a lot, though. It was fun he took us to fucking Nobu, which I'd never been to.
No, but you both are comedians, so it would be awkward if you were that big of a fan of a fellow comedian. No, who else showed up?
Matthew,
Sarah?
No, although I would have loved eating dinner with Matt Sarah. Oh my God,
Broderick?
Yes, Matthew Broderick.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was it was such a weird grouping. And then we went to the cast party, and it turned out Alan Alda did show up. He showed up.
What a great
day. I got to talk to him for a while, and he was really engaging, and I think I fanboyed out a little too much. And I could just see him start talking to someone else. I was like, all right.
Oh, that's a bummer. Did you go to the parking lot with Matthew Broderick, and when he parked his car, be like, watch this guy, watch the attendant, huh? You might go joyriding, huh?
No.
Ferris Bueller reference?
I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
No.
You didn't do that? No. How did you fanboy out for Alan Alda?
I was just talking about language and MASH and stuff, and he appreciated that I knew about the boundaries it pushed language-wise, because it did.
He probably would have appreciated if you'd known the boundaries that your conversation should have had.
Well, he showed me. You know how I learned? He turned away.
That's his great communication skills. This conversation is deceased.
But there's a lot of reasons I love Louis, but that is one of my favorite Louis C.K. moments, was that he took me to this small film him and Alan had done. And he was after he did that movie with Gervais. He was just, I think, in his Parks and Rec thing, he was just starting to gear up to go fucking fucking
The Parks and Rec
huge.
thing, yeah.
That
Parks
helped
and
him a
Rec,
lot.
It made him. It was the first real mainstream hit.
Wait a minute. I didn't do one of these. Hold on, Terry, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Jimmy? No, you guys remember?
Yes,
I'm here.
One time, Alan had a book or something come out where he did some pre-recorded answers.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And they sent out, and you guys had a little bit of fun with it because one of the answers was, I guess Alan had gotten sick, and one of the answers was, I got sick and I wound up beating this thing, and one of the joke questions Jimmy asked him was, so Alan, you had full-blown AIDS. How did you wind up beating that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yes,
That was one of our Jocktober things when I found pre-recorded answers that radio shows across the country were running.
That's right.
As if it was an interview. Like, we have Alan Alda in studio, and they just read the questions and then push play on the answers.
That was almost 10 years ago. I have it in here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the last time we talked to Alan Alda. Huh.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much.
You guys didn't remind him of that.
Thanks, Terry. I totally forgot. Good. Sorry about that. Good memory.
Yeah, I forgot that was the interview we did, too.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was the guy that we were talking to. It's so fun watching you just geek out over this stuff.
He's literally, Alan Alda is, I'm 48 years old.
Yeah.
I remember when MASH was first run.
That's really old.
Yeah. I remember 83. I still remember, obviously I remember the last MASH. It was fucking, by then I was like 15 or whatever.
When was the last MASH?
1983.
Well, that's, what month?
I want to say it was January. No, that's Super Bowl. I don't remember, to be honest. I remember going to my friend Frank Greco, who is now a police officer. I remember going to Frank's house, and he and I watched it live. Everybody fucking watched it.
Not me. I probably wasn't alive yet.
You probably weren't, and I wish the same was true now.
In February.
Oh, was it February?
Yeah. I was not alive.
Yeah, it was a great fucking episode. I've been a fan of his my entire fucking life.
You wish I had the same issues missing television shows today?
I wish you had the same issues as a lot of people who went through MASH, which is that they died in the show.
Well, I don't.
But I love his movies. Get him back rolling. I want to talk about Seems Like Old Times and the Four Seasons.
He's brilliant in that. There's this scene. I was watching the scene last night. That's why I had to bring it up when he was in here.
The Aviator?
Yeah. There's this scene.
I've never seen it.
Really never seen that?
Honest to God. I want to see it. I just keep forgetting to watch it.
Why would you forget to watch it?
I'm busy, dude.
Doing what?
Hugging my prick.
Yeah, watching pedophile documentaries. You could have watched The Aviator with Mary Jean.
You're not wrong.
Aviator's great.
It's amazing.
All right, I'll watch it.
But he's great in it. And there's this great. I was watching the scene last night on YouTube of.
Was it a cool scene, man?
Of Alan Alda as the senator having dinner or lunch with Howard Hughes, trying to convince him to sell the airline and then side with him so that they can all be in business together. And Howard Hughes is ready to fight him, and he's like, Howard, you're not fighting me. You're fighting the U.S. government. We just beat Germany and Japan. Who the hell are you? It was great. I was like, oh, what a scumbag.
Nominated for that.
What a scumbag.
Yeah, he did get nominated.
And rightfully so.
He won a lot of Emmys. He was nominated for Emmys. He directs. He fucking does. The old improv, though, I wanted to talk more about it because he's got such an improv history, like way back. I forget where it might have been in Groundling.
Yeah.
I think he was in. I know he was there when Second City started. Like, he's just got such a fucking great history.
It's so impressive that he won all those Emmys for MASH, but for different things.
Right.
Like, he won for writing, directing, and acting.
I see what you're saying. It wasn't like he played different people on MASH and everybody was like, oh, I can't even tell it's the same guy.
It's not like he won like 5 times for acting.
Right. For guys who are younger like you guys, MASH doesn't mean the same thing it used to, like in this, but it's hard to describe how famous and how massive that show was when there were only 3 channels.
For us, MASH means something similar to like Splat.
No. What you feel on your back? No, because that's what they put on when the game got rained out. MASH would be the show that they would go to show. You'd see half an episode of MASH during the rain delay.
I wanted to talk to him too. He when his family was in show business, but I think from what I gathered, his family, like his mom and dad, it was like a traveling
vaudeville.
Yeah,
his dad Robert Alda was in MASH a few times. It was really cool to see them doing scenes together, and I think he played his father in the show.
But I want to know if his, because it's a total carny upbringing. Like that vaudeville thing is totally carny.
Yeah.
So I would think that carny mentality completely changes your viewpoint of show business from other people's. Like I would honestly think that somebody who grew up carny would be able to
carny.
That's not a thing. Would be able to navigate, the waves way better in Hollywood.
Yeah, and he has. He's. I forgot what I was going to say. But as far as the vaudeville.
You're so excited.
Yeah, I am excited. Well, I am very excited.
He's rubbing his belly right now. I thought he was Carney Wilson.
And shit ain't that big, cuz.
She's pretty big.
Yo.
She's fat.
Damn. Yeah. What time is we getting our phone call?
Any minute now.
Okay.
1:45.
I enjoyed him very much.
Quarter to the hour.
Yeah.
I am very. You know how mad Spencer said he was almost here tomorrow. I'm like, you know how bummed I would have been if I was on a plane.
I would have been totally fine with it.
Would you have talked to Alan Alda when I wasn't here?
If they had said, Sam, he can take a trip in early for the show on Wednesday, but right now he's getting in on Thursday and would be able to do the show on Thursday, I'd say, I don't want to inconvenience him. He could come in on Thursday, no problem.
I'm so fucking happy.
I'd say I'd be here. I'd get Bubba Ray Dudley or somebody to come in and interview him with me. We don't need Jim.
I'm so happy I was here. That would have been I would have been extreme. I would have been, okay, hold on. I would have been the mayor of Bummed City.
Bummed City? It's terrible, isn't it, Troy? It's really bad. Troy hated that.
You don't like that, Troy? I can't hear you.
He had a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah, he's probably over there laughing, having fun.
No,
We got him?
No.
Just look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the screen.
See the screen?
Oh.
Phone.
You're not even here.
Yes, I am. I'm looking at this guy on the phone, Steve and Sandy Franny. They love it when you refer to it as that.
No, nobody does.
Go on now. Talk at me.
Hey, how are you guys this morning? I love your show.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, I was just going to say, when Alan Alda's dad was on the show, he never played his actual dad. He came in as
Jim was wrong.
I was wrong.
He came in giving conferences in Tokyo, and that's why him and Trapper were at the bar. And he's like, "Hey, I want to see what it's like to be out in the trenches." And he's like, "Well, why don't you come on out to a MASH unit?" And see.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, you're right. I forgot he did not play his dad. You're correct.
Now,
Spoiler alert.
Thank you, buddy. Sorry.
the show had a military theme, correct?
Yeah, Mobile Army Surgical Hospital.
Oh, interesting.
Or MASH. I'll be like, my ass sure hurts.
MASH. My ass sure hurt.
At least he got it right.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about Gary Berghoff, but I was like,
What about him?
He played
I'll tell you.
Radar.
Yeah.
And he was like the most lovable character. He was up through season 8.
He's a real cocksucker on the set.
That
ironically.
was what I heard.
Yes, it's true.
And I would love to have asked him about that. I don't know if he would have mentioned it.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
But he was a pretty rough guy. I heard
he's pretty
difficult guy to be around.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder what Ellen Burstyn was like. You ever see Seems Like Old Times or Same Time Next Year? No, Same Time Next Year.
No, of course not.
They play a couple.
I spend my time watching movies like The Aviator. Not
That's a great one. Him and Ellen Burstyn play a couple of strangers who meet every year at this conference or whatever.
Yeah.
And they've been cheating for 18 years with each other. And they both have respective lives, but they meet every year in this place and fuck all weekend. And it goes through their life. It was so good.
I'll watch Up in the Air. It's a movie that just came out.
Watch that. You ought to see the 4 seasons. Carol Burnett and Alan Alda play a married couple.
Oh my God, I'm not watching these old movies.
They're
man.
great, though.
They're not.
They are good.
In context.
No, the movie is really good.
I'll bet that if I watch these movies, I'd be like,
Well, you'd like them because the acting is good.
You think so?
Yeah, good acting. It's
just because it's movies from the 70s, look like movies from the 70s, and I'm just like,
Sure. The Godfather. Yeah, you're right. That was terrible. Raging Bull, 1980, but still.
You just picked the 2 best movies.
Yeah, but they're from the 70s. How about The Godfather 2? How about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
I don't think
How about Dog Day Afternoon?
These are all movies on AFI's Top 100 list.
Exactly. They're all from the 70s.
Yeah,
I'm pointing out movies from the 70s. Am I Troy? Am I right or wrong?
The movies that you just brought up are not on the list.
They're still great, good movies. Doesn't mean they're on the list. I mean, Scarface is 83. That just missed the 70s cut. I mean, come on.
And first of all, Scarface might be the most 80s movie of all time.
Yeah, I know, but it's good.
But it's great.
Apocalypse Now, technically, I think 80, 81, but I think it started in the 70s.
But if I'm sitting at home on like a Saturday afternoon,
yeah,
I'm acknowledging that The Godfather is a great movie, I'm probably not going to watch it. I'll watch Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is also a really good movie.
It's 90s. You know what I mean? Like, it's like...
Panic in Needle Park? Come on, guys. Bang the drums slowly. They don't understand films, these guys. I need an older man in here.
Troy.
Well, it's like that.
Do you like any of those movies?
I haven't seen one of those movies that you guys just
You
mentioned.
never seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Every movie you just mentioned,
Goodfellas you've seen.
Troy has
Never.
famously not seen a lot of movies.
Wow.
Stop watching these goddamn alien documentaries and watch a movie.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a fucking masterpiece. It's so good.
That's why I mean, at least yes. I will give you a hard time about your 70s movies, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one of the greats of all time.
And the 70s movies, the problem with certain 70s movies is they're dateable. Like that chase music and, some of that stuff.
Yeah, but everything's dateable.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Not guys. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Cool,
No
man.
peckers here no more.
What?
I see what side we're taking.
No more?
But there's a lot of great films from the 70s. Take the money and run out. About maybe 60s even.
But it's also a generational thing. Like Sam just said, he would watch Goodfellas over Godfather. I would too. Like Goodfellas to me is probably, if not my favorite movie, in my top 3.
Yeah, but that's an understandable thing. I might watch Raging Bull over them.
and agree that The Godfather is one of the best movies.
I think if I brought a kid who's in high school now over to my house to watch a movie before the cops came, I'd be like, "You want to watch Scarface?" And he'd be like, "This movie sucks." Like, this movie makes this isn't what movies look like.
No, I don't think you'd think that because of the of Pacino in it is really good and the interactions. No, to a certain age, the montage scene might suck.
Pacino means nothing to kids.
Yeah, kids think
that's true.
Pacino. Oh, that guy from the fucking Adam Sandler sister movie.
Yeah.
That's true, but certain things have held up really well. Nicholson doesn't mean much to younger people, but The Godfather, everyone is aware of The Godfather. It's like being aware of the Beatles.
You know why it wouldn't hold up with young people now? Because how many well-acted movies are actually in theaters?
Yeah.
0.
And how many kids these days with the attention spans are going to sit through The Godfather?
Right. They're going to sit there and be like, when do the buildings blow up?
I don't know about that. You might be right. I don't know. The Godfather, because The Godfather held up through the 80s, the 90s, the two... I was fucking 3 when The Godfather came out. It wasn't like I went and saw the premiere.
That's like saying Citizen Kane held up, and so 1940s movies are good, or whatever year that movie was made.
Citizen Kane is a one film thing about the way it was directed and what it was. No,
is Tour de Force the term?
I didn't love it, to be honest with you. Rosebud.
It's fine,
but it's more the directing and the shadows and but it's hailed for a lot of the camera work too.
Yeah,
that's like one of those ones that changed things and changed the way films was done. And it's a one film thing that they hold up. It's not a whole decade of films from the 40s.
Orson Welles is a dope motherfucker, though.
Yeah, and that
He's
was
the
again.
fucking man.
Yeah, it was a cool. So we're not getting a Roger Stone phone call. What the fuck?
Roland said he's emailing him.
All right.
Don't you think, Troy, that you would maybe walk around like maybe a little more mellow, maybe less paranoid about everything out there if you would fucking take 2 hours out of your day to stop watching Ancient Aliens and turn on like a fun movie? Like watch Blow with Johnny Depp.
I've seen that.
Clockwork Orange.
Is it great?
Never seen that. Yeah, Blow is great.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
Guess what? Goodfellas is like 10 times better than Blow.
You know what? I had a roommate that was in love with Star Wars, and he's like, "You have to watch this. You have to watch this." And I got like 20 minutes in, and I was like, "I can't. I'm so bored."
You weren't when the robots were like, boop, 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 boop. And then C-3PO was like, "R2, I know what you're saying."
Something like that. It's like, if you didn't live through it, I don't know if it's interesting to people.
Some things might not hold up
like that.
Yeah. The Godfather holds up just because it's so well acted. Like, no matter what generation you're in, you like people who can act.
Say the G-Father, because I don't want to, the language. You don't want to use certain things in vain.
That's not using it in vain.
I just don't like it.
A Godfather is a very sacred position to the Sicilian people.
God person, maybe.
I like that better too.
That is
what
true.
about Godparent?
How about the GF, the gender fluid?
That's it. But like Goodfellas. Have you seen Casino?
Nope.
Is it Casino great?
Amazing. I love the lighting in that. The wheel, like they're eating, and all of a sudden there's a light shining on the fucking like the salt and the pepper. The weird lighting he did in that was so amazing.
That's why I'm so surprised you haven't seen The Aviator, because like I would think that just
I want to see it. I literally have just forgotten to watch it.
Just the fact that Scorsese's name is on it, I would think
I would absolutely watch it. There's no reason I haven't. I would absolutely watch it. I bought it, and I don't know why. Maybe because I know it's a great film, and it's one of those ones I'm looking forward to seeing it.
See, he's a guy, Scorsese. Like,
Here's the guy.
Here's a guy. I don't like period pieces generally. I don't.
By the way, Taxi Driver from the 70s, Mean Streets from the 70s.
Those movies are not like. If you didn't live through those movies, they're
Taxi Driver.
They're great. They're not rewatchable.
Taxi Driver's not rewatchable. Are you kidding?
That depends.
Of course it is.
Taxi Driver's rewatch.
Taxi Driver's it's a classic film.
I mean, you're talking about like the most like revered movies of a decade. So yeah, they should be.
That's true. But I mean, you have to name the movies that are good. No one wants to name shitty movies.
You were just naming them. You were like that movie where the fucking guys have an affair and they sleep together every 18 years.
You're flying to Europe. Watch The Aviator.
That's in the 80s.
You have the time.
Can I download it Netflix to my computer? Or how does that work?
Get it on iTunes.
If it's on Netflix, you might be able to download it. But
Just
get it on iTunes.
I will.
You got the money.
You're so stinking rich.
You don't understand, man. I ain't trying to be all frugal up in here.
You're stinking rich.
Yeah, I'm just naming good 70s movies. Like these are all like legitimately good movies.
You ever seen? But like, I don't like movies. Like historical pieces. I'll say, but Scorsese, for some reason, he can pull it off every time. I love Aviator, even though it takes place way back when. I love Gangs of New York.
Yeah, it was decent.
Only decent? You didn't like it that much?
I liked it. It was good. I'll say it was good. Was it great? No.
How come?
It just didn't get me as much as some of Scorsese's other movies. I liked it.
Didn't resonate with you.
Not as much as Raging Bull or
Taxi Driver
or Taxi Driver or fucking Casino
Departed.
or Goodfellas.
You seen Gangs of New York?
Departed I liked. I didn't love like those movies.
I really loved Departed.
Yeah.
You would
Absolutely.
love. I think Troy would not like Taxi Driver because it moves slowly because it was the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, that it came out in. But I think you would like Departed a lot.
I probably won't watch it.
You probably won't?
No.
Why? Because there's a 17th season of Ancient Aliens?
No, but I just don't watch Ancient Aliens.
Goodfellas.
I like documentaries probably more than anything. Although my favorite movie of all time is Airplane.
That's a fun movie.
That's a documentary.
I don't know if it's technically a documentary. Officially.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just based on a true story.
Based on a true story.
Yeah. You like Naked Gun?
Yes.
Okay. So you're just like a Leslie Nielsen guy. He's like, I don't watch many scripted films, but I'll watch anything Leslie Nielsen does.
I love Leslie Nielsen.
He's great. I mean, some of the stuff he did later in his career, not the best, but I thought he was very, very good.
He was really good at doing comedy.
Who, Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was but towards the end, it started to get a little shaky with him.
It did, but he was old. He couldn't talk that well.
That's true too. Did you watch the later stuff he did? Did you watch all the Naked Guns?
Yes.
33 1/3 was still good.
Yeah, I think so.
You know who was great in Naked Gun movies?
OJ.
He was fucking the man in those movies.
He was better on fucking Bundy. Is that where the house was?
Yes, it was. That's the street the house was on. What a great pull.
Thank you very much. I wasn't sure. There's a couple of something in Bundy. I was like,
No, I've been rewatching. I knew what you were talking. I was like, because I've been rewatching the FX series.
Yeah.
The People versus OJ.
Which was very good.
Did you hear what they're doing?
Yep.
But
go ahead, tell the people.
All right, good. I told you, I think a couple of days ago, I loved Feud. The last 2 episodes of Feud are like the best thing ever.
Maybe I'll watch them on the plane.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome. But have you heard what they're doing they've already got the next 4 seasons, well, the next 3, I guess, up to season 4, planned of the American Crime Story show.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
OJ was the first
OJ was the first one.
Second season's already filmed.
Yes, I know.
Katrina.
Yes.
Hurricane Katrina.
Wait, that's a crime?
They said there are crimes within Hurricane Katrina that work.
Is God the featured criminal for causing Katrina?
Mother Nature.
Or are they dragging the ocean in for a lawsuit?
Wouldn't that be great?
The man who built the levee, who are they talking about? The people who were looting? Are they talking about Mayor Nagin? Was that his name, Mayor Nagin? Ray Nagin or whatever? He was getting, Ray Negan's the guy from The Walking Dead. Different guy. Maybe I'm mispronouncing his name.
You know what would be great?
Sure.
If on the season finale of that show, they were like, you know who the real criminal here was? And they look at the camera and just go, God. Third season, they're filming now, which is the murder of Versace, I think.
Johnny Versace by Andrew.
Yes.
Don't tell me, fucking Andrew Cunan. No.
Kumar. No.
No. What's his name? Andrew.
Yeah. No, you got it right. I don't remember it, but it's Yeah. But that's
Kunin. What's his name? The guy who killed Versace.
Kunani.
No, it was a weird name. He was a good-looking.
Kunanen.
Kunanen. What's Kunanen?
Yeah,
okay,
you were right. That's the 3rd season. They're filming that now.
Cool.
And then the 4th season that they're going to film next is Clinton Lewinsky.
Yeah,
which will be good. And then Feud. I think they've only announced up to season 2, right?
Yes, correct.
Who is season 2?
Season 2, again, it's not as good as my pick, I don't think.
No, I would agree with you.
But season 2 is Prince Charles and Lady Di.
It's a pretty good one.
Which I think will be good. And
I think it's after they divorced.
I think that they're cashing in on The Crown.
You're probably right.
I think they're looking at a trend in TV and they're cashing in because this fucking season of TV that everybody wants to see is Feud, Lugosi versus Karloff. That's the show.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
We've already seen the predecessor in the Ed Wood movie.
Karloff couldn't smell my shit. Nobody gives 2 fucks for Bella.
So how could you not want to see that series?
I really want to see Martin Landau was interviewed. Was he in the building recently?
Yes.
God damn it! I love to have talked to Martin Landau.
He only did like big shows.
Yeah, I understand, but just because he is Martin Landau.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's so insulting about our show.
No, I mean he did it as Eric Nagel.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
Oh,
Travis.
no. Well, you
he
know.
did it again. 3 days in a row, this one just tries to motherfuck the sweet Nagel.
I love Eric.
He loves
I
a
know
good
you do.
Nagel
He
reference.
got to interview Martin Landau. How cool is that?
No, I know, but that's not what you're getting at. You were getting at the fact that it's inappropriate that would be the show that Martin
I
Landau
never
does.
said it was inappropriate.
That's
Maybe
what
that's
you were-
when he was
He was in
available.
the afternoon.
Yeah, but I love
Yeah.
him. He was so good for that.
Would you want him to be in Feud?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
go
I don't know.
back
If he
and-
was,
yeah.
How old is he? 91 or something?
He's very old.
It's okay. Lugosi was old too.
Ed Wood was such a good film.
Who keeps calling you?
George Animal Steel was in it.
Yeah, he plays
Tor Johnson.
Tor Johnson. He was good in it too, but I mean, he's just playing George the Animal Steel. Who keeps calling you?
Paul.
What's Paul got to say?
He just
I
wants-
wanted to say that I remember when you didn't have hair on your belly, and I liked you better back then.
He's just threatening. Just calling up to remind Travis that he molested him as a child.
No, I said to him, I don't like that hair on your belly. Get rid of it.
inopportune time.
I know, but sometimes you listen when I'm on the phone. You don't block my number. Get rid of
That's
that.
true. I always pick up.
Get rid of your belly hair, Travi.
Why?
Little Travigans.
Gross. So gross. What's he calling for?
Just to let me know that Eric interviewed Martin Landau for 40 minutes.
Oh my God! Everybody's just looking to throw that poor kid under the bus.
Oh, good
No,
for
we're-
Eric.
yeah,
You did
we're
a thorough
saying, like-
interview. I'm not going to knock Eric for doing a thorough job.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Eric's a good interviewer.
I'm sure he is. He seems like he'd be engaged. Is he?
Yes.
What?
I've never heard him interview anyone.
Travis is doing things, giving me nonverbal cues.
Like what?
Like shaking his head no. What?
No. But I've never heard him.
That's my nervous tick.
Oh,
How
I'm
dare
sorry.
you?
Oh, trust, we all have him.
I'm
So,
sorry.
Travis, is he a good interviewer?
Yes.
Travis, are you nervous?
No.
Oh yeah, there's a nod.
Okay, so
He's just a little nervous.
I've never listened to Eric's show.
yeah, I'm sure it's good.
He's just a little
I'm sure he
nervous.
is too.
Yeah, he's a pretty good. I've done his show when he did the with him and Giddles, and it was an easy show to do. I mean, again, I know him so long, but it was very conversational. He was good at being very conversational.
Eric is very good at the show that he does the geek culture type thing. He does a very good show for that.
Yeah, and he's eager. And he's always unshaven. I love that he's eager. Eric is eager, and he does.
He should be eager to clean himself up a little bit.
That is true. He literally always looks like he's walking out of a pedophile bust.
He just came to get something to eat.
Eric, what are you doing here?
I'm just gonna get something to eat.
Which could be accurate too.
Yeah, that's actually true. But
I
yeah,
miss seeing the old Nagelmeister.
If I've been watching the OJ series. I think this is my third run through.
Oh, God, a whole series about a beverage?
Troy, did you watch the OJ show?
I watched the first one with Cuba Gooding Jr.
The whole season?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was
that was
good,
great.
right?
That was great.
And even he was. Cuba Gooding Jr. does not look like OJ, but it
No.
still worked.
Yep.
Remember he was in here, how good he was?
He didn't even sound like OJ, but he
No,
still
but-
made it. Like he got the essence of the character.
He just played a guy. Yeah, it was so great.
To the point where like my wife was like sympathetic for him watching the show. She was like, couldn't they have let OJ out? Like, why'd they have to leave him? I was like, Jess, he
Cut his wife's throat.
Yeah, he almost beheaded her. And she looks at me and she goes, do you really think he did it? I was like, yes,
Oh,
Jess.
Jess, how cute. But yeah, you know what, though? He plays him like a man so well that you do, look, he is just a guy who snapped. And the more, I do have a little empathy for him, because even though he was a cocksucker.
OJ? What?
Because, here's why. Because the more we've learned about CTE, he may have had CTE. When they say he would just fly off in these crazy rages,
I wouldn't be
he
surprised
may
if
have
he
had
did.
CTE. And that's not an excuse for murder, but I mean, it literally might explain why he went so crazy.
He's also a pathological liar.
Yeah, it wouldn't explain all the scumbag behavior post-trial.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. I'm only saying when you fly into those rages like that, a lot of these players have that, and back even 20 years ago, they had no idea what it was.
Jess gets so weird the way she gets influenced by television. Like, I never know what side of the coin she's going to fall on, because so often it's like not the natural reaction, because she's like the nicest person that most people who have met her have ever met.
Well, she understands the desire one would have to kill their spouse.
That's not what I was getting at. But like, so she thought OJ might be innocent based on the FX show. And then I remember the first time we were watching the West Memphis 3 documentary.
Yeah.
I go like, can you believe what they did to those kids? And she goes, I know, I can't believe that those 3 killed those little kids. And I was like, what?
But it's so blatantly obvious.
No, just after I talked to her and she changed her mind. But after her initial viewing, she was like, I think they might have done that.
I did too after the first
there's
one.
a lot of people who still think that they're guilty.
Really?
Are they all,
Yeah.
all from the town, or just
No,
people?
just people who think like, yeah, they probably did it.
Because people have I think what it is there's a large portion of the population that has an aversion to disagreeing with authority. Like, if the cops were this wrong about this, if the courts behaved this poorly about this, then the whole system that they trust
is in question.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it could happen to me.
Right. And so they don't want to go through this. They don't want to go through this whole thing of like, oh my God, I can't trust any of this anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
And so instead they're like, no, I think those kids did it because they wouldn't. Those mistakes can't happen. Those mistakes can't happen.
I agree.
Yeah, you might be right.
Plus, they listen to Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
So that's not good.
Guilty.
That's not good. No,
yeah, I had mixed feelings about the but the more I've read about it and the more I've heard about it, the more I do think that they were innocent. False confessions do happen as much as it's people just want to go home.
Yeah, and they get fucked up when they're especially when they're young. They're in they have no idea. They're just going to say whatever they can say that they think is going to get them out of the room.
And they're legally, one of them is retarded.
He's got a clock tattooed on his head.
No, you say that about the infant. He was got what?
He's got a clock tattooed on his head.
Yeah.
Just a poor decision maker.
Jesse Miskelly.
Yeah. He didn't exactly go on the press circuit after they got out, did he?
No, he went to the screening in Lincoln Center.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him. They were all 3 of them were there, but he did not do any press.
Did you at the Q&A? Were you like, hey Jesse, what time is it?
He did not talk.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
Jesse and the Damien Eccles we've interviewed, and we've also interviewed the other guy,
Jason Baldwin.
Jason Baldwin. That's right.
Have they kind of? I don't think Damien has, but has Jason kind of also shied away from the public spotlight since getting out of jail?
Yeah,
Damien wrote a book.
Damien.
Damien wrote a book. Damien does art. Damien is very public. He leads a very public
which you could believe based on those documentaries. He was obviously, when they kill those kids, he was obviously the ringleader.
Yeah. He told them what to do.
Yeah.
When you heard the explanation about the penises being bitten off, and then you heard what the explanations for those things, it's like, oh my God, that does make sense. And they still haven't found but is that the stepfather? Again, documentaries are skewed. You don't know. After seeing what they did in Making a Murderer, I never know what documentary makers are.
It was so great though, watching the tall stepfather. If you haven't seen these, we're talking about.
I've seen it.
I know you have.
Oh.
We're talking about the West Memphis 3 documentaries. I think all 3 of them are on HBO Go.
They're over like a 10 or 12 year period, right? Paradise Lost.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first, I believe it's both of the first 2, it really is skewed to make this one tall stepfather of one of the victims that died look like he may have something to do with something here. He's a little too enthusiastic to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
He comes across as very sort of suspicious. And by the 3rd movie, first of all, he's proven that he had nothing to do with it. And they say that. But by the 3rd movie, I think he's become aware of the public perception of what those movies did to him. So he's the biggest advocate for getting those guys out of jail now.
Well, I think
he flipped.
Right, and I think that's because he realized how bad he looked in the movie.
He looked terrible.
He
was like, you know what? I'll do the complete opposite.
I also think, though, that he saw more evidence, and he's like, I just can't, in good conscience, think these guys did it. Because I remember one, he goes, you hurt my baby. He was really crazy, but you believe that he was really...
He was doing a seance.
John Mark Byers.
Mark Byers. He was. Remember in that movie? Remember the scene where he's doing a seance? He's burning the thing, and he's saying he's putting on a show for the cameras.
You think that's what he was doing?
There is no doubt. There's nobody around him. It's just camera people with cameras and him and a fire, and he's holding a sermon.
He didn't know how to handle the spotlight.
No, he did not. And so he completely changed his point of view because he was like, oh, fuck.
Talk about rewatchable documentaries.
Those, right?
Yeah, you can watch anytime.
Were they in jail for 16 years?
Yeah.
But all's well that ends well.
But the way that
So they're
I'll
out
tell you
now.
one thing that makes me think they are innocent too, is the way the state, who is so fucking putrid, and the way that
the show
hateable prosecutor.
I love the state.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
No. I mean, no.
My balls.
I do like Michael Ian Black, though.
Right, he's great.
He's really funny.
Yeah.
He's a good egg. I saw a scene I did in a show that he used to be in.
What show?
Ed.
Oh, right.
Well, you used to. How many episodes of Ed did you do?
I was in the 3rd episode of Ed.
Well, you didn't used to be on that show. Then
I said I was.
one
No,
episode.
I did a show. I did a show. Not with. I was on one episode.
I thought you just said that I used to be in.
No. I was in with him.
Right.
And Tom Cavanaugh played Ed, and Michael Ian Black was very funny in it. And I forget who the big guy was. Oh, what's his name? He's in everything.
Eric.
No, Michael something, I think his name is. He's an extra, but he's a guy you've seen in a million things.
I know exactly
in
what you're talking
Goodfellas,
about.
he's the one who goes, I'm the commandant. I'm the guy. He's got the scene with De Niro and Ray Liotta. He's in everything.
Yeah.
And we have Anthony and Michael Hall coming shortly. We do have to, I think, take one more break.
Yeah, should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and then we were supposed to have Roger Stone call to talk about the Trump stuff, but he did not call.
It takes some stones to not call in.
Fuck yeah! Over and out.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, boy.
Is this the new Kendrick?
Jesus.
Welcome back. It's Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
It's got a lovely photo.
What'd you get? May I see? Share with the... Oh, my God. Oh. That's a good one.
Thank you. It's me.
Is it? Oh, Jesus. I don't want to... That's gross.
Sam just wants to see my height.
Jim is headed off to Europe.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh coming up, too, at the end of June, early July. I got Nashville has been added. I suck at plugging gigs, man. I'm going to be in Nashville, I think, July 14th.
That works because you suck at gigs.
I know that, but I should still be good at selling them.
Right.
You don't have to drive a great car. You could, just sell a whatever. I fucked up.
What are you talking about?
I'll be in Nashville coming up. I got Pittsburgh coming up. We got Montreal coming up. I got gigs up there. In the Borgata. What's that?
Pittsburgh, July 1st.
July 1st is Pittsburgh and 2nd.
Nashville
so all you pirates
June 30th, July 1st.
14, 15.
So all you Music City maniacs better show up.
June 30th, July 1st.
You only
Pittsburgh.
have July 1st on your website.
Ouch.
They don't put June 30th?
No, July 1st.
July
it's
1st.
June 30th and July 1st.
Not according to JimNorton.com?
Maybe they cut you down to one show because you were not selling ticks.
No, they wouldn't do that. They would just fucking have me do 4 mediocre ones.
Just humiliate you instead.
Yeah, just July 1st.
Just maybe June 30th is sold out completely.
Oh, true.
Right? Probably not. No. I've been listening to the Beatles channel,
Did that start?
It started.
I had
yeah.
No idea.
It's really good. It's really good.
It's great.
I wish they would just play the hits.
What? No.
Well, they can't. I mean, they got to play some other stuff.
Every single time I turn the channel on, I'm like, this isn't I Want to Hold Your Hand.
It doesn't have to be.
Jeez.
Troy is right to roll his eyes.
What do you mean? You don't want to... I'm like every time it's in my head, it goes like... tell you something. That'd be great to hear on the radio right now. Channel 18. What is this? What is this artsy-fartsy music that I'm hearing? I don't want to bop my head to it.
Channel's so good. They're doing such a good job with it.
They are.
As a Beatles fan, would you be disappointed if every 45 minutes they put on I Want to Hold Your Hand?
Yeah, because
the last thing you want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, their deeper cuts are what, fans... I mean, the hits are awesome, of course.
But the hits are easy to find, easy to hear.
And you've heard them all so many times.
And there's so many.
Even the early stuff, like I Want to Hold Your Hand?
Got it.
Oh.
Jonathan, my manager, Jonathan, his mother used to work for Jackie Kennedy. I forget what she did, but the Beatles wanted to meet Jackie Kennedy, or she wanted to meet them. So Jonathan's mom had to go and vet the Beatles. So she hung out with all 4 of the fucking Beatles.
That's awesome.
And they had to be nice to her because they wanted to meet.
Yeah.
And it's when they were like the Beatles.
Oh, yeah. This is in the 60s.
They just played Long, Long, Long in the bathroom.
How's that one go?
Which is like a deeper Harrison cut off the White Album.
That's all, yeah.
Literally, that's what made me think. I was like, I don't know this song. Why aren't they playing I Want to Hold Your Hand? I got to talk about this.
Yeah. What's it called?
Long, Long, Long.
They wrote a song about my dick.
I could have sworn Chip was going to do that.
Nope,
No.
Chip should have, because Chip almost did it. Chip thought immediately they wrote a song about my pecker.
It's like when Kanye saves the beats for himself, though. Sometimes Jim saves the jokes for himself.
That's right. I don't give him the Chip. I don't let Chip ruin what is a really funny thought.
People would be so pissed if I was programming that Beatles channel, huh?
Yeah, just the hits.
Yeah, that's all. I'd be like, how about hello? You say hello. I say goodbye.
I say hello, you say goodbye.
Yeah, that one. That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
What's a Beatles song you don't like?
Oh, I love them. I mean, I love them all for different reasons.
What about that Revolution number 9?
That's just good for a different. I mean, it's not musically good, but John Lennon was going through this avant-garde period, and he did that song, and Yoko's in it, and it was kind of. And a lot of people say that's the worst Beatles song ever, but it's now, 50 years later. I think it's interesting.
You respect it for its artistic merit.
Yeah, and it was a crazy move for the Beatles to do something like that.
That is loco. I mean, you think about pop artists today. Like, they fight to stay relevant. They are not. If they go outside the box, it's outside the box because they think that's where the culture's going, not because
they want to be outside the box.
Right. It's not like an artistic thing like that was.
At that time, too, in the White Album era, the Beatles were kind of getting cocky that they could do absolutely anything.
And they were kind of right.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, it's a great record.
Yeah, because John Lennon read an interview with somebody that said the Beatles are great, but they can't do the blues. So then John Lennon wrote Your Blues, which was a great song. And then
Sam, you know that one?
Your Blues?
Yeah.
Was that off the same album as Help? She Loves Me, yeah?
No.
Oh.
So you would just go, I want to hold your hand, and I saw her standing there.
Oh, that'd be great, yeah. Well, she was just, I'd be like, yeah, 17.
Do you ever hear Help?
Yeah.
That could be the best opening song on an album ever.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I was young, I was all cocky, but I was like, I don't need anybody's help. But now I got a little older, and I'm like, hey guys, you got my back on this, right?
Can you imagine?
I relate to it.
If it was written today, it would have been called Yelp.
Why?
Because you're getting reviews.
Oh. No, it wouldn't.
Oh.
It'd be a totally different song. They don't mean the same thing.
You're going to ruin the Beatles.
Yeah.
Just an app that rhymes with the word help.
Yep. Yeah. I love, I've Just Seen a Face might be my favorite Beatles song.
What's I've Just Seen a Face? How does it go? I've just seen a face.
Yeah, you don't like that might be.
It's a great song.
But also, In My Life is close.
Yep.
That's a great song. I play that on my Beatles Hits channel. Why don't they let me do a Beatles Hits channel?
Because you would just play Love Me Do.
Oh, that's a great song. What about All You Need Is Love? Have you guys heard that one?
Yes.
Yeah, wait, they should. I would like to proposition myself as a man who is willing to program direct a Beatles Hits channel. Keep the Beatles channel because I think a lot of people are thrilled with it because they've done a good job on it. But let me put a Hits channel together. It would only take me a little while because it'd be probably like a 45-minute playlist on repeat.
Just listen to the hit CD.
Yeah,
you're
just
fine.
listen to one.
Bro,
they have two of the. What's the one with the two? The Apple where they're looking down.
Oh, it's they split them up into years. So
Greatest hits.
It's like 62 to 66.
Oh,
and
those are great
67 to
records.
70. Yeah, it was their hits from that.
Is Love Me Do on them?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ones on that.
Yeah, but the Beatles channel is great because they have people that have Beatles stories. Like I just heard David Letterman doing a Beatles story about talking to the Beatles.
He talked to the Beatles when?
Oh, well, he talked to Ringo and Paul because Letterman used to be in the old Ed Sullivan Theater.
Right.
So they were talking about being there for the Ed Sullivan show, and it was really cool to hear David Letterman talk about that.
Yeah, everyone who's spoken to the Beatles probably wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
You don't get to meet. I mean, I've only met one of them.
I'm so jealous.
Paul. That's a real good one.
Yeah,
That's a real good
picture.
Do you think it's a good picture?
Dude, I've never been jealous of a photo more than that one.
I went with Jim to go get that in the lobby, and just being next to him was good enough.
Yeah, I mean, Paul
I was
McCartney.
within 4 feet of Paul McCartney.
I literally, but I was the only one there that walked up to him.
Yeah, it was you, me, Paul, and his person.
He's a god. Anybody that doesn't think Paul McCartney is a god is out
people
of
who
his
try
mind.
to be different go, the Beatles, shut up.
Shut up.
You could literally still listen to the Beatles in a college dorm, and nobody would think you're crazy. Like, Beatles translate across generations better than any musician ever.
Absolutely.
Bob Marley is pretty good, too. Like, there's no party. Bob Marley crosses all social boundaries. Like, there's no party that you couldn't play jamming or I Shot the Sheriff. Like, if you play that at a college party or a hip-hop party, nobody would think, get this shit off the radio.
Right. That's like what my channel, that's who I would be targeting my channel at. I'd play All My Lovin' at least 7 times a day. That's a great song,
You're just
right?
gonna play "She Loves You" like over and over.
It is good.
Yeah.
But those are not my favorite Beatles songs. I like them.
No.
Oh, you see the Beatles like that?
I know.
version of the
I
Beatles?
was trying to see if I could just get that picture up. I love that picture.
Oh, my loving. Woo.
Yeah, that's a great one.
It's a great song.
But they would cover like old Chuck Berry songs and stuff like that when they Little Richard when they first started. They would
Twist
just
and
go,
Shout.
Meet the Beatles.
Twist and Shout's good.
Roll Over Beethoven.
Yeah.
These are all
Rock and
songs
roll
on
music.
Sam's channel.
I remember Roll Over Beethoven from the soundtrack to the film Beethoven.
Oh, yeah, was it in that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people say the first
The
heavy
big
metal.
fucking dog.
Some people say the first heavy metal song ever was Helter Skelter.
That's probably my favorite Beatles song.
Is it really?
Yeah, probably. I love that song for some reason.
That song is too dark, has no place on my channel.
Yeah, me
That's
neither.
right.
I like Motley Crue's version better.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not bad.
No,
Better.
I'm kidding, but-
Better.
I did a cool version.
I like most of Motley Crue's songs better than the Beatles.
I might just love the fact that McCartney is in his early 80s, and he still belts that out in concert.
Helter Skelter?
Yeah, and it still sounds fucking awesome.
It's amazing. It is an amazing song.
I can't believe that's your favorite Beatles song. Not that that's a bad song.
It
Go on
might,
now, talk about it.
It might be. I would have to think about it.
It inspired a lot of great events. The Manson killing.
True.
The
Yeah.
the La Bianca Tate
Yeah, I
killings
do like
were
what it brought on.
Inspired by
Come on,
Helter Skelter.
Whenever you see you have a favorite Beatles song, it's like, because then I go like A Day in the Life.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
man, it's hard not to love that one.
Yep.
Really hard not to love that one.
All My Life is probably
In My Life.
In My Life.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful. But I've just seen a face I really love.
I would make a song called All My Life, and it would be a mashup of In My Life and All My Lovin'.
Yes, and the song before it should be When I've Been Worthless.
You've never heard I've Just Seen a Face?
I don't know. Do you have it?
Yeah.
All right, let's
But
hit
I mean,
it. Is it a hit?
I thought so.
No, it's not a Beatles hit. It's a big song, because it's a Beatles song.
Right.
I just think it's awesome.
But it
Yeah,
doesn't,
it's a great song.
Does it fit on my channel? I don't think so.
What a toe tapper.
Oh, God,
No,
so
this is
good.
like sounds like Simon and Garfunkel.
Long before the time of Garfunkel.
They fucking ripped him off then.
Oh, okay. It was here? Oh, good. All right. My pal Anthony Michael Hall is here.
Yeah, that does sound like Simon
Hey,
Garfunkel,
buddy.
though, right? Sounds like
We're
Paul
just
Simon.
we're just listening to the
Sam,
just playing the Beatles, man.
Hey, brother.
are you a Beatles fan? I'm trying to put together a Beatles
You got to be a Beatles.
hits channel.
How are you, gentlemen? Good.
Good.
We're very
How are
good.
you?
Where do I sit?
Right there, sir. Yeah, we're just going to. They started the Beatles channel here on Sirius XM, and we were just talking about how you literally can't. You could play the Beatles anywhere, and it's relevant. It's just one of those things that just kind of translates everything.
Yeah.
Well said.
And we talked also about 70s movies, and Sam is not a huge fan of a lot of 70s movies, and I'm trying to spit out great 70s movies.
I mean, I acknowledge there are amazing movies that were made in the 70s, but like if you take out those, AFI top 100 movies, generally speaking, I just can't get into it.
What do you think's a movie that defines? Because a lot of your stuff was in the like you started in the 80s. What's a good 80s defining film?
Oh, I was thinking 70s. I was going to say Apocalypse. I think personally I have a different take on it. We all deserve one. I think it was the last decade of like the filmmakers. There was a lot of great movies made in the 70s.
In the 70s, right?
I think so.
Well, so what's one you think defines the 70s really well?
Good question. Which one defines? Oh, there's so many. What would you say, Jim? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I said Cuckoo's Nest. I was just in the bathroom with Troy trying to tell me you got to see One Flew. He's never seen One Flew over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, that's an amazing movie. But you were talking about movies that I hadn't even heard of, like those.
Dog Day Afternoon?
No, of course not. Dog Day Afternoon. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But I mean, like your Alan Alda movies that you were talking about.
Oh, but they were like 80s. We had Alan Alda in earlier. We had It Seems Like Old Times. Ellen Burstyn, where they're cheating. They're just fucking each other once a year. And what was the other one? It was Four Seasons with Carol Burnett.
I love that movie.
Isn't that great?
4 middle-agers on a boat.
Yeah.
But it was poignant. It was good. It was a good script, man.
It was about getting older and how your life changes. And the one guy starts banging this like 20-year-old ditzy girl. And it's like now, as I'm in my 40s, I kind of get it a little bit.
Is it tough now for an actor? Because like one of the things we were talking about is that like stories aren't being told so much in theatrical releases anymore. It's all the sort of blockbuster action blockbuster. Like it feels to me, just as an onlooker, like studios are after the guaranteed to get X million dollars in the opening weekend, and then we got the next action movie over here and the next superhero movie over here.
No, I think that you're absolutely right. I mean, that's part of that formula, the targeted films and tent poles and all this stuff. I don't know. I haven't made any of those films yet. I don't know. But
when you
they're
get a
interesting.
script, what do you look for?
Good writing. I mean, the conflict. I don't know. I think in both, in comedy too. I don't know. What do you look for, Jim? When they get I don't know.
I look for them saying yes, I can do it. I look for poor decision making by the casting director.
Yeah, I think it's like watching a movie. I think you become aware of time when you're reading anything. You're like, well, what am I doing? Well, this is not interesting. So I think you want to get lost in, I guess, that suspension of disbelief or time.
And you know, you mentioned Apocalypse Now, like Martin Sheen, right?
No,
you don't?
No, but Lucia and I go to a church in Malibu. We see him there. I mean, I think he's a beautiful guy, man. He's he's such a great actor. And he's been great in so many films. I did meet him as a kid on Breakfast Club. He came to the set once.
Oh, familiar.
Yeah, it was great.
Was that back when he was he sober then, or was he still drinking? Because Martin Sheen went through that thing in Apocalypse Now where he had that meltdown, and he's actually sober many, many years now. Was that back when he was still in his wild days?
No, it was recently, a few weeks ago.
No, when you said on the set of the Breakfast Club.
On the Breakfast Club. Well, that was 1984. He came to visit Emilio. Yeah.
Was he a mess back then, or was he healthier?
He was totally cool. It was like a dad beat. Yeah.
So maybe he had already cleaned up. That was like a couple years after Apocalypse Now.
But that story is fascinating, right? During the making of it, how everybody, because I think Coppola was just, it's a masterpiece, but, he was he didn't know what he was doing. It was like something out of control, I think, at that point.
Those stories are always good in hindsight.
Yeah.
Like when you do in a movie and your fucking star melts down drinking and punches the mirror and bleeds and you film it. That's not a great story in the moment.
No.
That's a great story 20 years later where you're like, oh, that was amazing that it came together like this.
No, agreed. Yeah.
When they talk about like what a maniac like Kubrick would be to some of the women that were in his movies.
Really? Wow.
But yeah, like all like the documentaries, like they say like The Shining, like he was a maniac to work with on that movie. But then in hindsight, you're like, oh, but was he just drawing out those manic performances?
I actually had the pleasure to meet Jack once, and he told me, this isn't really talking out of school, but I think that Shelley Duvall at that time, like whatever her demands were and this and that, and Jack's take on it was, just Kubrick was like strategic and surgical about it. And I think when you watch that film, there's a bit of a meltdown unfolding,
Yeah.
But that's a whole other category, Kubrick.
That's what he said. They were saying that like he would treat Jack Nicholson like $1 million, and then Shelley over here.
I didn't plan on saying this, but it's interesting because you never know. I also read something that Coppola said, which is when he looks back at his life, that when you make something, it just reminds him of where he was at that point,
Yeah.
Now, the film that his wife made about the making of Apocalypse is, I think,
Hearts of Darkness.
It's incredible. Hearts of Darkness is like equally fascinating, right? So, it's interesting. They're kind of marks certain period of times.
Did you ever get to meet Brando?
I didn't. No.
Yeah, because they said he was really difficult in that, and Coppola, who had brought him back from The Godfather, and then he's kind of 10 years later just kind of being a dick to him on the set and being difficult. And,
the human condition, Jim.
I guess so. In your movie, this film you're doing is with Brad Pitt. You've worked with almost everybody. And how did this come about? This is based on the firing of Stanley McChrystal?
It's a Netflix movie.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh.
And what happened was, it was an article called The Runaway General years ago that led to Hastings writing the book, The Opera Is, which is fascinating. He had a great voice as a writer. It's a shame he's not with us. But what Michaud did, and with Plan B and Netflix, was to say, look, we're going to kind of fictionalize this, and it's inspired by.
Okay.
And the film, people are going to get whatever they get out of it, but it's certainly, I think it's a really great piece of work. I'm really proud of it, man.
And Netflix is amazing what they're doing. They're doing all these original films. Like they put $100 million into this new Scorsese movie I heard with Pacino, De Niro, Pesci. Is that what it's called? The Irishman?
Yeah.
What's that about? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't either. I would have asked. But they're spending so much money and getting they got Brad Pitt. It's hard to get these guys for these original. It's got no theatrical release. It's just coming out on Netflix. Is that weird for you?
You know what's so interesting, Jim? I was in the car yesterday, and the driver was so cool. He was from Jamaica, and he said, "You know what, man? Without naming him, television, it was getting a little bit, time for a new model." And this is a guy, right? And he was saying, he goes, "I got 4K in my car, man. The image at home, and he was in support of it." So I think whenever people resist change at any level, but I think what they're doing is incredible. I'm honored to be working for them, and I saw the latitude that Plan B and Mr. Michaud had in making a film around the world, where all the former issues of the opening weekend, all these other things, I think are, although still in play, they're not restraints anymore.
Does it take a lot of pressure off you? That's got to be like you're not obsessed with how much did it make or what else.
We were talking about that. Caitlin and I, who works with Strategy PR, about the model at Netflix is great because what they do for a living, they're allowed to help and support the film beyond that first weekend. So look, man, there's a lot of ways to work.
I did something for them, and they said like I did a lot of press for it the first week, and they said like you don't have to do. They actually told me you don't have to do it. You could do it in a couple of months. They're like it lives forever here.
Yeah.
You don't have to obsess about because you get so used to like who's gonna watch that first. And this was just relaxing. I'm like, all right, if they don't see it now, they'll see it in fucking 6 months. Whatever, it's there.
Right. And it's interesting because I had a different opinion a couple of years ago. We kind of glorify traditions, right? So like the movie theater, I read once Orson Welles was like, and this is years ago before everyone had a big screen, but one of these books I have on Welles, he said, you know, the movie going experience, you know, people go and sit in the dark. It's like a temple-like experience, and they look up at a screen, you know what I mean? And the television at that point, this was probably in the 40s, he was saying, is over in the corner. You walk in a room and it's down there. You kind of, the world has changed, man. You know, I read an article with Mr. Michaud last night. He was like, I like watching movies at home.
Yeah.
People have to kind of get beyond whatever they get beyond.
And plus Citizen Kane, we were just talking about this before.
You're talking about Orson Welles, yeah.
Yes, and that was
Amazing.
a directorial thing too, with the lights and and with the mirrors and with the shadowing. So for him, seeing that in the theater must have meant something.
And he was inventing it. I watched this great documentary on Netflix a few weeks ago, man, and he was inventing that stuff. He didn't know, you know.
Did you see the War of the Worlds? Orson Welles documentary?
No,
it's on
great?
Netflix as
I'm gonna
well.
check that
I
out
literally
too.
just watched it, but you see him, like, I mean, he was inventing stuff even before. He's in a radio studio.
Wow.
And it's all done live, but it's like this big room, and this person's doing this sound effect, and he's like, you know, he's being the conductor of this amazing orchestra to create this program.
That's what it comes down to, ultimately creativity. And at the same time, nobody works alone, man. I mean, other than Jim. When he's on stage.
Yes.
But no, the life of a comedian. But seriously,
Right.
like, it's such a community experience. You make a movie, man. There's 200 people, man. We're all in it.
Yeah.
And do you still, it's funny, we have a mutual friend. I don't know if we've ever talked about it. You're pretty good friends with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I know Tyson. I haven't seen him in years.
Oh, you haven't seen him in quite a while.
Did you see him in Vegas?
No, I did. I saw his show when I was in Vegas.
Wasn't it great? I thought that was great what he did, man. I love what Spike did.
Did you actually went and
Well, I
watched
saw it on HBO, but I hadn't seen it live. But I'm just saying, I love that they collaborate on that, and that he was so cool because people didn't know that. I knew him since I was a kid, and he's so funny, man.
How did you meet him?
Paul Gleason. After we did the Breakfast Club, I was a big fight fan. He took me to the Garden. I was a kid, man. I was like 17, and he introduced me to Tyson, and we became buddies, man. He's a lot. There's a lot there, man. He's a really smart guy and went through a lot of stuff, man.
He's a much different guy than you expect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he's more insightful. Because, again, when you just see someone boxing and talking shit, that's what you expect them to be. And then you talk to him, and he's like got all these things about self-esteem and self-worth.
Interesting guy. Yeah. Tolbach's documentary was also great. Yeah.
That was really good, right?
Yeah.
But see, you knew him. I hadn't met him at that point when James Tolbach's documentary. So I saw that, and I was like, oh, it was kind of nice to see that other side of this person who I had an opinion on.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, he's got philosophies and he's well thought out. And like almost everything in his life, it seems like he's got a philosophy behind it. He's got a self-awareness of what he has in his head that you wouldn't think would be there.
It's just flashing me. No, I totally agree with that. And I also feel like, he lived the life, in terms of the fight game, he lived the life as Ali, and he's also been Joe Louis. When you look at his life, I mean, ups and downs, man, nobody's immune to it, So I'm just grateful that he's still, he's got a bunch of kids, and he seems like very happily situated.
Didn't you guys go to the theater together or something?
Dude, we went and we had a double date with these girls, and we saw some play years ago. It was fun. We'd go to clubs. I mean, he was great. He was like a big brother. I didn't see him too much, but when I did, man, he was great.
Would you
Great
mind
guy.
going on a double date with Mike Tyson?
I would love to. I mean, he's married now, but his wife is lovely. I'd go out if I knew a girl who I could get to go, and Mike is like, well, me and Kiki will go out, but you got to bring someone. I would find someone to go. I would happily find someone to go on a double date with him, because his wife's very nice. So.
Dude, he was cool. He was a great friend, and then I look forward to seeing him again.
It's weird, isn't it weird, though, when you meet people that you wouldn't normally meet in show business, whether it's actors or comedians or fighters, and then you don't see them for a long time, but you make these really weird connections with people that you'd never have access to otherwise.
It's so funny you said that, because I was with Kelly LeBrock this weekend. We were doing a convention. Those were fun, man, because it's very humanizing. I like going out and just having fun at those things. And I was having a similar kind of epiphany this weekend, how good a friend she is to me, and how long I hadn't seen that, and how well she actually knows me, even though, like we're saying, friends come and go, but when they're there, but over time, there's an appreciation that grows. And
How old were you when you worked with her?
I was 17, man. But we had some really cool, insightful conversations, and she was helping me with something that I was talking to her about. And I realized that thing about a friend, man. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You realize how when you're younger, you just go, I don't be friends. And then, idiot, you do have friends.
What do you do, by the way?
Better.
And you also
right.
And you also have no idea, probably in the industry, like because you spend all this time without seeing people.
Right.
Like you don't know until the years pass who's actually your friends, who was just this acquaintance that I knew then and don't know now.
Yeah, and I said this a lot. I mean, I'm not planning any of this. life is such an incredible gift, right? It's a personalized experience. At the same time, it's group therapy. It's a classroom, So I think that a lot of us, we beat ourselves up and we think we don't have this or that. But back to friendship, I had a great few conversations with Kelly, and it reminded me of the value of our friendship.
So when you did Comic-Con, you kind of just went, did you do just a signing with people where they come up and they pay to get pictures? I mean, it's...
Yeah, but, it's fun. It's fun to do those, man. I don't
Did you have to get to a place where it was fun? Like, I would imagine...
No, I think what it is, it surprised me because it benefited me more than I thought I was being useful, because it really helped me to just get out of L.A. and wherever else I was in my head.
And go there and meet some fans and hang out. It's easy money, just relaxing.
Because he's a fan of so many things and people.
Yes.
So it's about staying inspired, I guess, as a creative person or not. So for me, it was helpful as a person to start doing those over the last couple of years. You make some money, cool, but honestly, what I get in that interaction has been very helpful.
And how did you make? Sorry, Sam. How did you make the jump to? Because a lot of guys who are really famous when they're young have a hard time when they become adults. And what for you is the one that tipped it? Like Jodie Foster pulled it off, but she went to college and took a little break. What tipped it for you? Where you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to be good as an adult too.
Well, it wasn't that thought out, Jim. I wish I could say it was. It was more like just having a hard head and wanting to work, but just realizing over time I had made bad choices, both in my career and my life, and at the same time getting back to myself by going, hey, man, you can do better. It's about the experience of who you're working with, the people you're with, man. And so push yourself further.
Was there downtime for you, like as adulthood happened, where you're like, I didn't get a job for a year? What's the longest you went?
Years. I mean, I've gone probably 2 years without jobs at different points in my life. So, and it's difficult because in our industry, it's hand to mouth. So you got to learn to appreciate.
And who else is in this film with you? Obviously, it's Brad Pitt. I saw the poster in L.A. Jonathan pointed it out to me.
Topher Grace.
Okay, Topher Grace.
Great actors, man.
Oh, Tilda Swinton, Ben Kingsley, Jesus.
Incredible. And then this incredible generation of brilliant young actors, man. R.J. Seiler, he's like a great comedian and actor. Emery Cohen, all these really talented, Keith Stanfield, Lakeith, I'm not sure of his name. But just a beautiful assortment of very talented actors. And this director, man, he's truly a writer-director. This guy's someone to watch. He made a really powerful film. I mean, people decide what it is for themselves. But I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to be working with Brad and Dee Dee and Jeremy and Netflix. And, I'm just grateful that I'm in a good movie. I've done enough that I don't want to watch.
It starts...
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be on this Friday on Netflix, and it's just this Friday, and then it just lives forever. Did you know Brad beforehand, or did you met for the first time?
No, just met him on the set. Cool guy, man.
What's your first meeting with him like? Is it at a read-through, or what do they do? Are you a little nervous walking up to him? Or?
I mean, he's cool. He puts you at ease. He's a stand-up guy, man. He's really nice and easygoing. He's got a great sense of humor. On set, I just kind of, gave him his space, but he's great. He's a great producer. But totally on the level, man. He's down to earth and really cool.
Are you kind of past being nervous working with big name actors because you've worked with so many?
No, man, because I was amped and excited to work with him. I stayed the day that Tilda Swinton shot. You're always learning, so I was just grabbing from everywhere. And sometimes it's not in front of the camera, man. There was a prop guy in this movie that was one of the coolest people I ever worked with, named Billy. David gave him a cameo in it as a drunk stumbling down the street. It was awesome. I mean, there's all these connection points when as you know this, Jim, when you travel and. I love being surprised, by the connections and the people. It's not always, actor to actor. Obviously, it's a great collaborative experience. It takes a village to make a movie too.
Yeah,
totally.
When you're a kid, is it tough to go through the transition of like convincing people that you're not this kind of nerdy little kid that you know what I mean? Because you get cast in so many movies that become this one's iconic, and then the next one's iconic, and then the next one's iconic, and then people are just like, that's Anthony Michael Hall, the person, not the character.
Yeah, I think that there was a blur for me as a child, man, because it was weird to get pigeonholed and like all that crap and stereotypes and all that stuff. And I think it motivated me as an actor just to go in different directions and to make a commitment to myself that, I'm going to keep working the rest of my life, man. I'll define whatever I can do. There's no planning in an actor's career, right, Jim? Or even as a comedian, it's like, I'll wind up here. No, man, you just woodshed, you work at it, and then...
But does it make you like, I'm going to start hitting the gym, I'm going to get really big, or I'm going to start doing this, or I'm going to start...
And that, I know where you're going, Sam, that vulnerability, absolutely. And then I made a couple bad movies. I remember my parents one time like, that was pretty lame. Like, she get back to being vulnerable. But literally, they had that conversation with me. I mean, I'm being goofy about it, but...
Yeah.
So, and that was a hip reminder to me too, man. Like, cameras don't lie. So, like, as an actor, man, you want to reflect life in some way, man. You're not trying to bullshit people.
Right. Were people treating you like these movie characters you played? Like, again, all these Molly Ringwald movies, you did play this kind of like this geeky dude who wasn't sure of himself, but then you're a real guy. You want to go out and meet girls and get laid when you're 17. And are they reacting to you because you're famous, or like you're that guy?
Probably both. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever hooked up with a girl, like I've done this, who's much hotter than you deserve because you're famous? Is there anything better than that?
No. And the room swelled with good laughter.
It's true,
No, that's
though.
true. Be honest. That's it, man. And that's what it's taught me, too. I think that, it's not an act. Like, I've never understood celebrity. I'll be the first to admit it. It doesn't even mean anything to me. I just want it to work with good
Well, you've been
people and have
involved with it.
some longevity.
Yeah.
For so long.
I literally don't even believe in that shit.
Well, do you feel now like secure in the sense that
Thank
you're
you,
like,
Jim.
I figured out longevity? Like,
No,
I haven't
figured out
longevity.
anything, man. I haven't figured out anything. I think it's about unlearning, realizing what you don't know. That's what, I'm 40 now. Like, I think just shedding skins and realizing, man, just keep going.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you want to appreciate the people and the experience more and more. And that's been important to me recently. At the same time, trying to raise my game and be of service on any project where I can be. So.
And we've talked, I think, last time you were in about this too. It's something I'm really jealous of, is the fact that, we all love the Heath Ledger as the Joker, but you got to do a scene with him in that character.
It was cool, man. I saw he was very, very quiet. He was totally into what he was doing. I saw that he had this friendship with Chris. I remember reading, this was interesting because then I saw it, they were talking about like Clockwork Orange and the Sex Pistols. And there it is. I mean, his performance is incredible, man. But there's all this kind of animalistic stuff he does too, this behavioral stuff. I mean, he's brilliant in that film, man. But again, I don't really lean on actors or people when I'm working, man. I just kind of stick to myself, and then I just try to be prepared and conscious of the experience, and then I kind of save it for whatever is important with the work.
But in this scene, do you realize at the moment that you're working with what is going to become this fucking amazing, iconic character?
No, I mean, I knew it was going to be a big movie. There's no way to anticipate dollars. And so all I can say is, I saw that he was in his zone for sure, man. But at the same time, he was cool. He was like a surfer from Australia. He was a great guy, man. He'd be listening to music in the morning. He's just a person.
But when he's in that zone, like on set, and when he's pulling off the scenes that you're seeing him pull off,
right?
Does it make you feel good knowing, like, okay, everybody's bringing their A game here?
Oh, totally. I mean,
like, this is going to be a good product.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, the truth is, I'm a big fan of Christians and I was of Heath's as well, and I still am. And so, I mean, I was older than those guys when I made the film, and I got a small part, but it was not about that. It was about the experiential thing, like being there, being a part of it. I was studying Nolan, man. Nolan kept reminding me of Hitchcock. I don't know why, man. He just felt like such an old soul, and he's very, very kind of controlled and interesting, very quiet. But it's like a Kubrick. When I was, one day, this is a funny quick story. I didn't know what to say to this dude. I really didn't. And I was so honored and thankful to he and his wife, Emma, for putting me in the movie. And I happened to shoot on the first day of filming on the movie. And at one point, I got the balls. I walked up to him. I go, Chris, so who are your favorite directors? It was like two guys on a golf course. He doesn't even look at me. We're both staring straight ahead. He goes, this is great. He goes, Ridley, Malick, and then like a 3-second pause, and he goes, and Kubrick for a sense of control. I'm in a terrible British accent, but he goes, and Kubrick for a sense of control. And at that moment, I knew I'm going to leave this guy alone for the next 6 months. But really, he took the time to say that. So he was like, he's into Ridley Scott, Malick, and Kubrick. And I went, wow.
Why the sense of control?
Well, I think because I think that he's got such a mind, man. It's like his movies are playing out on a lot of themes. He's working with memory and time and dreams. I mean, look at his work.
You have to have a clear vision and can have a discipline about how to control all the elements.
Yes, sir. And I think, like Kubrick, you're dealing with a major intellect that it also was chess to him somehow. I mean, I don't know, man. I got a 9th grade education, but I read a lot, and I was really studying Kubrick long before I had a chance to speak with him. I was going to do this movie, Full Metal Jacket, and I had the opportunity to speak with the great Kubrick. And my first conversation, my knees were knocking. I'm at Sheridan Premiere. I was making Weird Science with John Hughes, and I knew Kubrick was going to be calling me. And without getting into too many of the details of it, I was on the phone. I'm like 17 years old, and he started talking about Eisenstein and Chaplin, and I was like, yo, I'm on the phone with Stanley Kubrick. Yeah. And all these years later, I mean, there's so much. I would encourage anybody to study Kubrick, man. It's incredible. But anyway, back to Nolan. He's at that kind of mind. I was just like, dude, just watch this guy. You know when to shut up when you're on a set.
Sure.
Were you up for the Matthew Modine role in Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, that was the role he wanted to give me.
One.
Yeah. And unfortunately, just without getting into, I'm not going to cry about it. It was just a difficult experience. It didn't work out for whatever reasons, but I always look back, man, and it's probably the only thing I would consider a regret that it didn't work out, because I so admire him and I so love his work. And was so honored to have a conversation with him.
Yeah. But you never know where, even if a great one like that, you never know where it would have went after. You might have done a movie after that wrecked everything too. Like, so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a really good career.
Landing. You guys know about that? Yeah. I mean, I saw a couple documentaries that opened my mind up to stuff that I didn't even know about was going on.
Oh, you think that he directed that? Are you a conspiracy guy?
Totally.
I don't believe conspiracies.
No, the NASA thing. You know about this?
I don't believe it though, but our boy Troy does.
He
Troy
watched that one, man.
I've seen that documentary. It's awesome.
Dude, it's dope, isn't it? That documentary. That guy is like.
So the theory is that Kubrick directed. Tell me what Troy. Tell me what the theory is.
Troy, bust.
Yeah. Basically,
smart.
They went back to some of his movies and they compared the moon landing, the video of that, to some of his movies.
The way it was shot.
The exact way it was shot, and there's a lot of similarities. And then it goes into The Shining, and he had implanted a lot of different hidden meanings inside The Shining.
Right. And so the theory, yeah, exactly. Well, people can find out for themselves, but which opened my eyes to that The Shining was actually a personal catharsis for him based on 2001 and what happened before that, which led to the moon landing. Right. We got it. You got to see the movie, though.
Yes.
All right, I will see it.
It's heavy. It's heavy. There's connection points to be made, but you got to actually study. It's heavy. I'm not smart enough to verbalize it.
And did he? So does that mean the moon landing was fake entirely, or
not?
The people say that they went there, but that footage was faked, just to make sure that they showed.
Because we need beautiful footage.
Because the powers that be and were saw that he had done such a mind-blowingly realistic job with 2001, right? That there was some recruitment done there, and that it could have been faked. So who knows? No, I believe they landed on the moon, man. I don't know.
We have to end this because our show ends. Our show actually ends, and the computer will cut us off.
Right, we got to go.
Yeah.
The government is cutting us off.
Oh, there we go. Here we go.
I wish I knew this. I would come back, but we'll talk about this.
The moon is real. The moon is real.
Anthony Michael Hall.
It's made of cheese, but it's real.
It's on Netflix this Friday. Is War Machine, starring Brad Pitt and Anthony, and also Topher Grace, Tilda Swinton, Ben Kingsley. And I'm off to Europe, so Sam will be here tomorrow.
Yes.
And catch me in Pittsburgh. You can catch me in Nashville, the Borgata.
And tonight I'll be on Fox News Radio with Andy Levy and Tom Shalhoub. I think it's like either 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., but tune in at 7 p.m. Fox News Radio. I'll be on with Andy Levy and Tom Shalhoub.
All right, I'll see you guys. We're off next week, and have a great few days. And if my plane doesn't crash, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
This has been Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.